Can we do the recap while Scott's setting everything up?
Yes. So,
Before we do that, can we come up with a signal for turn the music down?
Yeah.
There's a few times where I wanted to say, hey, can we turn the music down, but it would have interrupted.
And that's a skill that I'm going to have to learn because I haven't managed live during the game audio like this
some
before.
some songs are louder than others.
Yeah.
So it just starts building up. It's like, I can't hear you.
Well, you just tap the side of the table for me. Yeah, exactly.
Here's our sign language.
I don't know.
Violin. Down.
No.
Down violin.
Down.
Anyway,
We're down.
Yeah, so
Maybe
this
if I
week,
tap my
sometime
ear.
throughout the week, just think about some ideas for what your group of characters should be called, because I can't keep calling you just the assets.
The enlightened.
The enlightened ones! Yes!
We're special.
You're outvoted.
If this table were smaller, I'd flip it.
Still
Anyway.
considering it though.
No, I was considering how many heavy things I lifted today, and I just don't want to lift anything else. So. What?
Wow, that humble brag.
No, that was my work today.
I know.
It's a humble brag.
All the things I lifted.
All the heavy things I listed because I'm
Oh.
such a strong man. You know, being a man doing manly stuff. Unlike you who just sat at your computer all day playing clothes.
I think that example says more about you than me.
I'm not insecure about it.
I'm not either.
Clearly.
So recap.
Recap. Hey, so the group, the assets, the Chimera Secret Infused, the secret weapons, the heroes of Lyn Terranil, were tasked with a mission from Ulysses Crow, the face and chairperson of Chimera, after receiving a special request directly from Realm Keeper Vanairos. One of the 5 members of the Elven Oligarchy, which runs the nation of Lyn Terranil. She directly requested that Chimera send agents to the town of Mistside, far to the south in the frontiers lands of Lyn Terranil. Upon arriving, the mission itself was to provide relief. A number of people had grown sick and died of sickness, as well as gone missing due to what had been assumed to be suspicious, though natural causes. And so Chimera decided that it would be an excellent PR opportunity to send agents and personnel down to distribute goods, distribute welfare, distribute counseling, and while doing so, allow you, the assets, an opportunity to sort of rest a little bit from your normal duties, which are typically on the front lines battling the invasions of the Infused. Unfortunately, when you arrived, though you were greeted to much adulation and praise and celebration by the peoples of Mistside, you began to grasp the direness of the situation. Almost 80 people had been killed either by a strange, incurable sickness or by being abducted or mysteriously killed. Investigating further, and after making contact with a Chimera agent a gnome named Totix, you discovered that many of the deaths were connected by a strange sequence of circumstances. Namely, all of those who had been killed thus far had been adults, specifically parents of families with greater than 4 children. There were a few outliers, a few parents with only 1 or 2 children had been killed, of course, but there seems to be a correlation between those who were killed and the number of children which they preside over in their home. Many of these families, many of these children are now orphans. And one of the primary reasons for the aid being sent was to help provide care for these orphans until new homes could be found for them. Deciding to investigate first the bodies which had died of sickness within the town, you contacted Madame Jouet, the town's sort of wise woman and strange, some sort of fanatic when it comes to death. She seems to enjoy just investigating recently deceased bodies. She's very familiar with most natural causes of death, and even she seemed to be stumped by the way that these people were dying of this strange sickness. After investigating the bodies, you discovered that each of those who were killed by this sickness seemed to experience an intense period of cold, where their bodies would begin to grow colder and colder in their internal temperature until the point where the cold became unbearable, and over the course of 3 to 10 seconds, their hearts would become completely encased in frozen crystal. That crystal would grow to the point where the peak of the crystal would puncture the chest of that individual, and at that point, death washed over them. Madame Jouet, instead of respectfully burying the corpses of the individuals who had been growing sick and dying, apparently was keeping them for further study. She seemed to have a fascination with them, rather macabre, though she simply seems to be interested in what kills people, and this particular sickness is very strange indeed. Making your way back towards the center of town, you decided that it would be time to contact one other individual at the direction of Vosamir, who turned out to be the mayor herself, Mayor Laurelyn Venairos, cousin to the Realm Keeper. Venturing to her home, you discovered that, or rather you asked a few questions about why she felt that these things might be happening to the people of her town. She has only been the mayor of Mistside for 5 years, following the death of her father 5 years before. And she does not necessarily enjoy her position, though she does strive to do it well. Asking a few questions, you discovered that she is able to think of one person who might have something of a vendetta against the town of Mistside. I'm sorry?
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Estophel?
Yes, Esophel. A woman, a crone of a woman named Esophel, who had lived in the town for many years. Just about 3 years ago, got into an argument with her mother, Laurelyn's mother, in the streets, and that argument turned into a scuffle, and unfortunately Laurelyn's mother was killed by this woman. The scuffle didn't lead to her death, or rather it did. The scuffle ended, and later that night, Laurelyn's mother was killed in her home, her body ripped apart, and all of her blood apparently drained from her body and placed in containers near her corpse. Esophel was never seen again in the town, and so it was presumed that she was responsible for that death. Deciding that with night coming on and what appeared to be the early signs of a very imminent winter storm, you decided that you would bed down for the night, sought out the nearest inn, Vosamir, seeking some solitude, decided to venture to the place where you had met your contact Totix. The rest of you venturing towards the center of town, towards one of the inns there, the Talawan Inn. You interrupted what seemed to be a massive snowball fight between many of the town's children.
In front of the inn.
In the central area where you had first been greeted by everyone, a large oval-shaped, and I had a map all ready to go for you guys, but unfortunately didn't have enough time to print it out. So next time, I guess. A large oval shape is cleared out in the center of town, and surrounding it are all of the kind of inns and markets of the town. In front of the major inn, this massive snowball fight was occurring, all the parents kind of standing on the sidelines, enjoying that their children were experiencing some joy in these rather dour circumstances for their town. In the middle of that snowball fight, after joining in yourselves, it was noticed that one of the children, a young girl, maybe 4 years old, half-elf, was kind of staring slackly up in the cloud towards the cloudy sky above. The winter storm at this point had almost overtaken the town, and so visibility was very, very low, only 20 or 30 feet or so above you guys where you stood. And as she stared upward into the clouds, she began to emit a low, kind of droning sound. And she began to utter words that unfortunately none of you were able to decipher. The closest of you was Claudius, though he couldn't quite pinpoint what the language was, deciding that the strangeness of the circumstance warranted a more typical response that you are used to on your missions. You decided to take subtle action. First, by casting a Dispel Magic. Second, by checking the surroundings, making use of Gedrid's natural infused talents of blind sight. Sig was able to feel that there was a spell indeed captivating the young child. She was able to overcome it, and while doing so, Gedrid noticed in the cloudy murk above, in the swirling gray, snow-pouring clouds, a figure clutched an object and seemed to soar through those clouds, heading to the southwest, towards the lake. And that is where we're going to pick up tonight's session. Bossamir is currently separated from the group. You, at this point, would be just about to reach the incompleted inn, where you had deigned to spend the night instead of in a public place. The rest of you, the other 5, Tobias, Claudius, Louis, Gedrid, and Sig, are all currently standing in the center of glee-driven chaos, as many of the town's children are continuing their joviality, the snowball fight. And the parents, on looking, don't necessarily notice anything is wrong.
Yet.
Correct. Yet. Oh, whoops.
How far away am I from the center of town?
About a 5-minute walk.
5-minute walk.
Josh, just to confirm, this was Louis' stuff that you sent me. That stuff in the very first part there, that's not actually what I can do yet. Those were just ideas.
No, those were ideas.
Okay, just
What
making
you
sure.
can do is that second draft there.
I remember that, but then I told you that I
I know.
already have that ability as the second draft, and so we did this the first draft.
Correct.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Man,
Advantage instead of adding your ability again. Your ability score.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
I turn to, or
Tobias.
Tobias. I turn to Toby. And say, why are we whispering? Are you fast? Good. And I would like to dimension door us onto the roofs.
Okay, perfect. So you're currently surrounded. You're basically in a large not coliseum. You're in a large oval opening right now. There are many large buildings around. Would you like to dimension door where exactly?
I want to pursue the thing, and it seems to be on the rooftops, or at least near the rooftops.
Okay, so you want to try and get a better vantage by getting up to its level, sort of thing.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want to dimension door to the
Perfect. So Gedrid, basically, the only notice he gave was there's something in that direction, and it's up. That's basically all you had said at the end of
I
last
imagine
session, right?
you pointed.
Yeah, I would have.
Okay. Okay. So you want to hit a rooftop in that direction.
And
Dimension door is a range of 400 feet, correct? 500 feet. So how far would you like to jump? Because I
would
believe
like
you
to
can.
get as close to the angle of his indication as possible.
Right, but how far along that angle? So just to the edge of the city square that you're in, or do you want to go a few rooftops down? Because you can go up to 500 feet.
I would say is, because I don't know which direction it's going,
Sure.
I would probably just go to,
The closest
there's the oval ring of the town. I would like to just teleport to the closest, like, tall building and just try to see where it's going or what it is. Because I know that whatever it is possessed a little girl, and that's something worth chasing.
Gotcha. Okay, so grabbing onto Tobias, you cast your dimension door. A purple line forms in the air, opening up into a doorway. And you step through. You step through. It closes. As it closes, the rest of you watch as a child from the other side just comes kind of barreling through the space, kicking up snow and dust. Apparently, from the other side, they couldn't see what was going on. But as the door shuts behind, right behind Tobias's heel, a child comes kind of tumbling through and throws snowballs at the rest of his friends. The two of you are immediately whisked across arcane ley lines up to a rooftop, about 70 or so feet away from where you were standing. It's the nearest one that you could envision, that you could mentally picture. The rooftop itself is about 60 feet high. And as you land on the rooftop, there is a clear sky above you. Just below the edge of the roof, however, are roiling, tumbling snow clouds. The sky above, however, is clear. Night sky, but clear.
It's just one little
So we don't see the creature.
Make a perception check.
Okay. 16 plus.
You may also make a perception check.
25.
That is at 22.
Perfect. Okay. So as you walk over towards the edge of this roof, you can see the edge clearly because the clouds, the winter storm clouds, do not come above the edge of this roof. As you look around, you notice that the winter clouds, they rise and fall with the roof, the line of rooftops across the entire town. They do not come above the roofs, however. As you peer back in the direction, trying to gauge where the creature or whatever it was that Gendred saw in the clouds might have traveled to, you seek out the point where you know very specifically, because it's where you cast the spell. You seek out the point that you traveled from and follow the line directly back to where you came, and you do see a swirling, or rather, you see a wake in the clouds, and it's slowly moving in a circle above the area where you remember the children playing.
How tall are these buildings?
They vary in height. The one she's standing on right now is 60 feet. The one next to it might be 75. The one next to that might be shorter. The clouds seem to match the height of the buildings.
I assume at this point Louis just been getting pelted by snowballs, but he'll be like brushing some snow off his face, and he'll look around and see that Sig is gone and be like, I assume Sig has been buried under some of the snow here in the combat, so I'm going to go and dig her out. If any of you saw where she fell, I don't see any.
She hasn't been buried in snow. She's up. She teleported away.
Oh, that's cheap.
There's something in the clouds.
Something in the clouds, like a big old
There's
What did you sense,
So it's still
Gendred?
circling.
Yeah, it's just circling you.
There was a little girl. Some kind of spell affected her. Sig blew it off her, and then she thought something was coming from somewhere, and I looked up in the clouds, and there it was. I could sense it.
Well, I'm going to get all the kids inside. I'm just going to shout to all the kids and yell at them. We're next to a tavern, aren't we?
Oh, the Talawan Inn is the largest inn in this site. And because it's a frontiers town, the inn is massive. It is meant for commuters. It is meant for people traveling, the influx of people that constantly come to these frontier towns.
All right, I'll just shout at the kids. All right, kiddos, time to get on inside. Snow fight's over. Sorry, I know you were winning, but I'm the real winner here, baby. Time to go inside. We all know I would have beat you.
A bunch of do we have to? Come on!
Yeah, sorry.
At this point, some of the parents kind of
evil.
they take this as their cue to step forward, and they kind of start calling out to their children.
And as the parents do that, I'm gonna tell them, be like, "Don't come out. There's something bad going on."
None of the parents question you at all. Meaning, you get the opinion, or you get the feeling that these parents, they were on high alert because there's all sorts of stuff that's happening in the town. As you begin ushering the children back, you guys notice as Louis is sort of shepherding the children back towards the entrance of the inn, a number of children stay behind.
Ooh.
I'm gonna turn
And they
on
begin
my-
adopting the
my
same
brain.
slack-jawed appearance or visage as that little girl originally. Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry, Claudius, you go ahead. And then I need to get back to these two.
I want to summon my familiar Bastion,
Okay.
and I'm going to say to him, go get Vazimir, and I'll telepathically tell him where he's staying. I'm going to
Okay.
send the hawk off to go.
Oh, he's a
Yeah.
hawk.
Oh, that.
Yes,
Okay.
he's a hawk right
Okay.
now.
So-
Make sure you notate that he's a hawk, because I think I put him on your D&D Beyond as a bat,
Yes.
because that's what he was the
He's
first session that
changed
we
in
played.
the intermitting 30 or so campaign things.
Where's the hot going?
Oh, I'm
To
not.
fetch Vosmir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vazimir's
Um,
at the end.
He's
I just want to make sure that you notate that he's a hawk because it does cost resources to change his appearance. Okay. Sig and Tobias. So, what you're essentially seeing is the wake of what you would imagine a shark would leave if you were swimming just below the surface of the water. Kind of edging its way through the clouds is a swirling wake that sort of travels in a large circle around the square where you and all the children were playing.
So is the swirling like right underneath them? Is that where the kids they're sticking around?
It's above where they were playing.
Yeah, but above them. So like there's cloud and right above is the ones who stayed, right?
Well, you don't know any of the children have stayed.
Oh, okay.
You're above
Because
the
we
clouds.
can't see through.
You cannot see through the
Okay.
clouds.
What should we do?
I don't know. What did you see? I didn't see anything.
You don't see that swirling on
I
the
see the swirling. Like, is this just how snow is here? I've never seen anything like this in the capital.
Well, would you check it out? You seem like more of an offensive than me.
Yeah.
A what?
Offensive? Or you want me to punch the snow?
He's more offensive to the senses than
Can I touch it?
says he's smart.
Like, it's close
Sure.
enough for me to touch, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll touch it.
Okay. You touch it, and it's really, really cold.
Oh,
Yeah.
feels like snow. Is it colder than the snow below?
Yes. It is colder than the snow below.
Totally normal this time. Yes.
Yes, it is. So it is the 9th month of the year. It is winter.
Okay.
And it is totally normal, especially this far south.
Alright, so I was thinking either you or me is gonna go fly and check that out.
Fly? I can't fly.
Would you?
I don't know how to fly. You? What? Never told me I was gonna fly.
And she just kind of growls for a second. She did everything.
Bops herself on the head.
She bops herself on the head and she was woo, and she just falls over the edge of the building.
What?
and
I go,
casts
So you cast fly on
herself.
yourself?
Yeah, and just
Okay.
to psych him out, I'm just gonna like fall off the edge past the clouds and then fly back up and go.
What? Give me a heart attack.
Okay.
Are you ever not panicked?
As
and
you
then I'm gonna go
as
check
you
it out.
enter the clouds, I'd like you to make a Constitution saving.
He
Hold on.
just turns
For
to
real?
ice.
For real.
Don't move.
Oh, that was excellent. That's a five.
Okay.
That's so
You-
fun.
You kind of you give Tobias one of your signature winks as you just sort of fall over to the side, intending to
Be cool.
psych them out a little bit and display your awesomeness.
Yeah.
As the last part of your body enters. Look!
We're
So
having
much
technical
fail.
difficulties.
So much fail.
Not one.
As the last of your body, the last sliver of your body fully enters the storm clouds, you feel an immense chill course through your body. And it starts from your extremities, it makes its way along your arms, up to your shoulders, into your torso, at the same time as that which crawls up your toes, shins, knees, thighs, and belly, and then it all converges towards the center of your body, and you begin to feel a piercing cold thrum near your heart.
No.
Jesse.
Okay, well, fly is by will, not by movement, and I cast it before I so I don't
Oh, no,
cast
you're-
it
you're-
on the floor.
No, you're fine.
So I'm
you're
just
not frozen.
freakishly cold.
You just feel an intense frostbite-like cold deep within you.
Right. So I just fly back up, and I'm just gonna amend that previous. And go. Are you ever not petrified? And it's just like.
You're still trying, like the bravado is still
trying to
there.
be cool, but like being cold. And I'm gonna go like. I go. Well, I don't think I can get cursed twice. And I'm just gonna like.
Wait, you're cursed?
I think so.
He's stuck on a rooftop.
Get down!
Okay, the rest of you, you begin ushering. Actually, no, Vossmer. You begin sort of your routine of settling in for the night. You unroll your bedroll. You lay out your supplies. You lay each of your weapons out very precisely next to your bedroll, and you begin going through your nightly routine of half sleep, basically. You begin to hear a fluttering nearby, and you hear kind of the sound of a winged creature anxiously stopping, and you turn back towards the door, and you see what you recognize to be Bastion roosting just outside the door. He's just sort of peering in your direction.
I'll grab my sword and just start walking over towards him.
Okay.
Seeing what's up, why he's there alone.
Okay. How would he get Bossemir's attention?
He would just start leading him back.
Okay, so each step you take, Bastion sort of hops a little bit towards the street, and once he gets the idea that you're following, he will then take flight back in the direction where everyone else is.
So before I actually leave, I'll grab all my gear.
Of course.
That I just took off.
Yep. You just doffed all of your gear, and now you don it again.
It's like putting it on and pulling straps as quick.
And then I'll start following.
Can you imagine though how cool it'd be if Bossemir just showed up like in his
Shirtless?
short clothes?
No, shirtless.
Yeah.
That's the hero.
Yes. They've included it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, go ahead, Luke.
Have I noticed the
You
children that
have.
have not moved?
You have. So at this point, Bossemir, you are heading back to the center of town. The four of you have noticed that there are 9 children now. No, just the 3 of you, I guess. Just Claudius, Gedrid, and Louis. There are 3 children that are currently standing still. A number of them have individuals, adults, that are trying to rouse them. You notice that none of the adults look like those children. And you imagine these may be some of the recently orphaned children.
I go up to one of the kids and I slap him on the face. I'm like, Billy, it's time to go.
Yeah, so the tiny gnome boy that you had
Oh no!
no, this is Pender. The tiny gnome boy that you had hoisted onto your shoulders, that you had kind of emboldened at the ceremony earlier when all of you were welcomed. You notice that he's one of the children affected by whatever it is that's going on at the moment. and he is not responding as you gently try to rouse him.
I'm gonna use that won't work.
Falcon punch.
I mean, I'm gonna use my fist to punch the child.
Oh my gosh, Louis is just Captain Falcon.
Yeah, work. I could work the crowd, but I don't think that's break a charm. So,
Go ahead. Did you have something you want to do?
I'm gonna cover his eyes.
Okay. Okay. As he's peering up, kind of slack-jawed towards the sky above, he's letting out a low crooning sound, which it sounds like it could be language, though you have no idea what it would be. Gedrid.
Gedrid is going to quickly approach one of the other children, and he's going to cast the spell magic.
Okay. So you approach one of the nearby children and you cast Dispel Magic. I need you to make a spellcasting ability check. So go ahead and roll a d20 and add your Wisdom modifier.
Okay. Yeah. Is it just wisdom or
Just your Wisdom.
Just wisdom? Okay. Spellcasting ability check. Let me remember my wisdom. Okay. Snake.
You kind of place your hand on the shoulder of another kind of younger girl, seems to be about 8 years old, and she has flakes of snow kind of pooling on her cheeks and in her hair. She seems to not notice the flakes that are kind of entering her mouth and melting on her tongue and cheeks. You place your hand on her shoulder and you cast Dispel Magic, and you feel rebuffed by something.
Can I try again?
You may if you want to expend the spell slot.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do it.
Okay. Go ahead and make the check again.
Alright. Go. 13.
Okay. You concentrate harder, not wanting to relinquish any of these children to whatever it is that is now taking hold of them, and you will the magic to enter her body to cleanse her of whatever it is that is plaguing her, and is once again rebuffed.
I don't care, I'm gonna keep going.
Do I see him doing this?
You see him at this point almost shaking one of these girls.
I'm gonna go up to him and be like, Gedrid, we gotta get him inside. This ain't working. Get him out of the storm.
No.
Save your spells for the thing.
I saw Sig do it earlier. This spell can be broken.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's just, it ain't working too well.
Well,
You may cast one more if you'd like.
if it's a ritual that they're casting on them, some sort of spell, we might be able to break the concentration of the caster if we can find them.
Do we have any idea where Sig went? We're missing 2 people, right?
She teleported away. I have
What
no
did you
idea.
see, Gedrid? Where was it?
I was using my blind sight. It was. I can't really get details, but it was a figure flying through the clouds above us.
Do you still remember where it is?
Looking up, do I still see it? I only have a 60-foot blind sight.
How long does your blind sight last? 10 minutes, right?
10 minutes.
Make a perception check for me. And then, Toby, I also need you to make another perception check.
Nat 20 on the perception.
Perfect.
Plus the
He's 65 feet.
Yeah.
Great.
I love it.
I feel like he's just on.
Okay. Gedrid, as you stare up, kind of in your frustration over not being able to relinquish this girl from whatever it is that is affecting her, you stare up and you focus your attention on the clouds above. You look in the direction that the creature had been flying and you can't make it out. But you then begin to turn your gaze in the opposite direction. You see no, and you see the faint. What was your total?
It's 28.
Okay, yeah. You see a little bit deeper into the clouds, a little bit higher up. You do see just on the edge of your dark vision. Blind sight. You do see a pair of feet that seem to be traveling through the clouds. You can't see beyond that, otherwise you guess you'd probably see more.
Are the feet in the direction that? I guess I don't really. Are they in the direction that I pointed Sig toward
No,
earlier?
they're now on the opposite side,
How
as
far-
if it is either a different creature or the creature has changed directions.
How far? Do you see anything?
It's still there. I
Where
can
is
see
it?
And I point in the direction. This is pointless. right there.
All right. How far away?
How far away does it look?
Well, it's right on the edge of your dark vision,
So
so
it's right around
it's
60 feet.
it's about 60 feet out, 20 feet up, or whatever.
I'm gonna ask him to guide my aim. I'm gonna pull out my little crossbow, and I'm gonna ask him to like adjust my aim until I'm
What's the range on your tether?
50 feet. So I'm gonna move until I'm within 50
Okay, perfect. I mean,
disadvantage.
so normally you would have disadvantage.
Double
The help action from Gedrid will give you a regular roll.
Okay.
Gedrid, you kind of pull Louis along.
I'm like, I have my little staff and I'm like pointing it in like the exact direction.
No, I imagine he's behind him with his arms around him, like helping him.
Except he is a halfling.
I know.
He's a giant.
Less than half of his height.
Exactly.
He's on my shoulders, like moving my arm.
Oh my
I'm
god.
imagining it's like that movie Ghost where the
Right.
ghost is behind you.
We gotta get you a papoose.
Anyway, you eventually you begin to track the creature or object's movement, and you get close enough to it that you can see the whole body. And it does appear to be humanoid, and it appears to be leaning forward over an object of some sort. And it's making what you perceive to be, with a little bit of observation, a perimeter around the area.
Okay.
Just try it. You time it, and you're able to aid Louis in taking the shot. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Come on, baby.
Nice.
Do I get proficiency with it?
Yes.
Alright. 22.
Okay. The bolt is loosed. Sig, what are you doing right now?
Yay!
I'm
There you are.
I assume that there's no way. I'm assuming I'm totally cursed, and
So you're just staying in the clouds at this point?
no, I'm pursuing the thing.
No, I understand, but you're pursuing it through the clouds.
Well,
Are you above the
yeah.
clouds or in the?
So you said earlier you can't be double cursed, so does that imply you're gonna go back in the clouds?
Well, I'm just not gonna be careful about it. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to
No, that's what I
get as close to the thing.
I'll tell you right now, there's not going to be any further consequences for entering the clouds. right
Okay.
now. I was just curious where we were going.
Okay.
Toby, I'm going to have a question for you
If
next,
I could-
just so you know.
Just on my way, I know I'm not gonna probably close the distance with my round. Maybe.
Well, you can move a total of 60 feet, because your fly speed of 30, right?
Yeah.
60 feet will get you towards the towards the center of about 15 feet from the point where you traveled from, if you were to draw a line straight up.
Okay. I'm going to just continue like looking for it, but since that's all I can do in a round, I want to take an action to do minor illusion under the cloud layer.
You have to see the point
I have to
for
be
minor
able to see
illusion.
it.
It's a point you can see.
And then I'll just shout. Then
Okay.
don't cross the cloud layer.
Okay.
Since talking is free action, I will.
Who are you shouting to?
She was just shouting aloud, "Do not enter the clouds," essentially, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Then I would like to inspiration to go the rest of the way to try and contract the thing
So
with the person.
make a perception check for me.
So another 20.
Excellent. So you travel your 30 feet forward, and as you're traveling your additional 30 feet as part of your action, you shout out to whoever might hear you, "Do not enter the clouds. It is folly. You will get cursed." Whatever. And you see, just kind of on the edge of your no, because you're in clear skies right now. You see, just opposite where you would have where you are right now compared to where you teleported from. About 45 feet away from you, you see the swirling arcing around to the left, and it will eventually come to you.
Okay. Just like as a note.
Yep.
I'm imagining that above the clouds it's absolutely beautiful. Because you have the
It's a
stars
beautiful
above
night sky.
you, and then like,
The cloud
and
layer
then
below,
the clouds are glowing
Yeah.
because of all the candlelight.
reflecting
And I
the
just wanted
moonlight.
to state how pretty in my mind that was. But what's Toby doing stranded on
So,
top of the thing?
Toby, you watch as Sig, popping up from the clouds, turns towards you, jibes you a little bit, and then she, chattering teeth, soars off back towards the center of town,
Leave me alone.
leaving you alone. You begin to look around,
Yeah.
and on the rooftop next to you,
Okay.
you see a figure,
You figure?
humanoid, cloaked in the night itself. Not as in wearing a dark cloak, as in their appearance is that of the night sky.
Oh, pretty cool.
The creature stands up towards the edge of the roof, peers down towards the clouds,
See me?
and begins to stare down towards the clouds, but seems to be waiting for something.
So it doesn't see me.
It does not look in your direction that you can tell.
Ooh, okay. Well, very nervously and carefully, I'm gonna pull out my longbow.
Okay.
Oh man.
Okay. Make a stealth check for me.
Shoot this ultra.
Because you're trying to do this without being noticed, right?
Correct.
Okay.
You said stealth? Or
Stealth.
yeah, that's a 7.
Okay. There's a clattering of arrows on the rooftop. No, but unfortunately, not able to get the bow out without being super quiet. That was 6 total.
7 total.
7 total.
7. Give me the extra one.
What's your stealth bonus?
Plus 3.
Oh, okay.
Plus
okay.
4, sorry, I rolled a 3.
Okay, got it. The creature at this point looks over in your direction, and we'll see what happens in a little bit. Louis, the bolt is loose, and you immediately you wait for that telltale moment of the lead line, the wire, that trails the bolt to grow taut. It seems to fly true, and you hear a slight grunt from above, and the line immediately begins to pull against you.
Alright, I'm just gonna go.
At this point, I need everyone to roll initiative.
Yeah. By the power of Grayskull.
Not necessarily because we're in combat, just because I need order of operations now. And at this point, you have reached the same area as the rest of the group.
Okay. If that's the case, I would have liked to cast Sixth Sense since I entered with the
Sure.
the area. So
Perfect.
that way,
It's pretty awesome.
and if that's the case, do I sense any faint aberrations around it
Within 60 feet of you,
as I enter the?
fiends, aberrations, undead.
No. Okay.
All right. Let's go 25 to 20.
20.
22.
Claudius, that was 22.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 19 to 15.
18.
14 to 10.
11.
12. How do I always beat you?
I
Just
know.
like a little bit.
And Vosimir.
So on the other side of the world, Bo wakes up in her sleep.
She goes, ah! Not again. Something's know how sad it makes me to have
No.
an initiative that low? When I'm used to a plus like 9.
All right, so first up in our initiative order is Claudius. You see Louis loose a crossbow bolt into the clouds towards something, an object that you can't see, but you do see both Louis and Gedrick focusing in that direction. And you see that trailing the bolt is a thin, glinting wire that all of a sudden seems to grow taut.
Okay.
And Louis is currently holding the other end of that. He's holding onto the crossbow, which the line is affixed to.
Is there some kind of reeling mechanism on the crossbow, or?
Yeah, it's like a grappling hook type thing, and so once it hooks on, I can yank him towards me.
Yeah, but there is a ratchet affixed underneath it.
Okay.
Good old you.
I'm going to run in the direction of the wire,
Okay.
and I'm going to cast jump on myself. Is there any like awnings or like structure? What do the buildings look like nearby? Will I be able to climb up one or jump up onto one?
You can't see any of the rooftops nearby.
Okay.
You see plenty of buildings nearby,
Yeah.
but you do not see any rooftops because of the clouds between you and them. So you want to run towards the building and cast jump.
Yeah, and essentially get up high and get ready to start engaging something that I think is going to be flying.
Okay, so you run your 30 feet of movement. If you run towards the inn, towards the Talawan Inn, you will be able to reach the base of the building. Your action is cast jump on yourself. Does that allow you to jump as well as part of casting the spell? Because you used your movement to get to the base of the building.
Yeah.
We would get like 25 feet. You're not at the base.
Jump something.
Well, you can
Well,
use your action.
And why don't you go ahead and remind me what the jump spell does?
It triples my jump distance. So I have a vertical jump normally of 6 feet, just natural, and then
In
that would
full play?
yeah,
It's based on your
kinda
strength score.
yeah, it's your modifier plus 3.
He does like day.
Yeah, I don't miss
He
leg
does
day.
not miss leg day.
In his armor.
So with jump that would be 18 feet
Got
plus my full height and the
Right.
ability to like reach above myself. So another 9 feet on top of that, I can reach a ledge that high. But seeing that this isn't gonna visualizing the terrain here, realizing I'm probably not going to be able to make that strategy work. I guess I could try and. Would it be possible to help Louis with reeling, or is that just
Louis and Gedrid are both
okay?
right
Yeah,
there in
they're
that
already
space.
on it. So
You could jump and just grab the wire, pull it down, help tug it down.
sure.
Yeah, so you're maybe 20 feet from the two of them where the line is, so you could run 10 feet beyond them and jump.
Sure.
Okay. Do you want to do that using the jump spell? So your jump is tripled?
I mean, I can reach it if it's only like 10 feet above me normally, but
Well, the line is leading almost directly at a 45-degree angle from them. So you just want to jump further down the line to where you can reach it so you can yank down on it?
yeah.
Perfect. So what that'll do is it will give Louis advantage to reel it in on his turn.
Okay.
Okay.
Get it lower faster.
Yep. Okay. On the next turn, you hear a shrieking sound from above you. In pain. Very much so.
From what I shot?
From what you shot.
Good.
So,
Oh, and since I hit, it got enough damage. Which is
is that a class ability or part of the weapon?
part of it.
Okay, perfect.
So it's 8 points of piercing damage.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
No, that was
Where'd you
right.
go? Okay, so you hear this terrifying, pain-racked shriek from above, and immediately the line grows taut and it begins to, much like pro bass fishing, it begins to tug against the line. There's a few moments of futility as the creature pulls against you, and I need you to make an athletics check for me with advantage.
Um, 25.
Okay, against its 20. So that was very, very good. The creature is unable to pull free of your grasp, and all of a sudden, the line begins to slacken rapidly. And breaking through the cloud line
Oh, it's coming towards me.
is a creature unlike anything you've ever seen. Not true. You've probably seen something like this. It is a gnarled, the flesh of this creature is gray and frostbitten all over. It's a gray bluish color. Its skin is the color of it's the consistency of parchment, and it falls over it in folds and layers. And its hands are just they're tipped in these elongated fingers with these ice blue claws, and one of them currently grips the haft of what looks to be a broom.
It's a witch!
Well, not quite. It's kind of a witch. As the creature breaks the tree line, she begins uttering words. I want you to make a perception check for me.
What? 21.
Excellent. Okay. Though you don't understand exactly the language she's speaking, you understand enough to be able to get a rough translation. Essentially, what you get from her is not time, you fools. There's a few other words which you imagine are expletives thrown in the mix, and she raises a hand towards you. And a torrent of cold extends downward. Bossom, you see from the edge of the circle, as all of a sudden this creature descends below the cloud line, reaches towards the group, and this cone of cold extends out towards Claudius, Louis, and Gedrid.
My reaction.
This is why
Okay, I need each of you to make a dexterity
What
saving
were you
throw.
gonna say?
this is why I don't go with them.
Oh shoot, you know what? I
Let's
left
put 10
my books at home.
bullets.
Can I grab that player's handbook, please?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not good?
It's a 4.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, no.
Rolling crap on
that's
the
to be
same
expected,
dice
right?
now.
Okay, Louis.
19.
Excellent.
21.
Excellent.
4.
Okay, perfect. So Louis and Gedrid, you will both be taking half damage as the cone of cold washes over each of you.
I will cast Absorb Elements.
Oh,
As a reaction?
spell.
Yeah,
Okay.
as a reaction.
Perfect. Can you cast that as a reaction if you cast a spell on your turn? Okay. I'm not familiar enough with the rules about it, so I wanted to make sure.
So, as far as the idea that you can only cast once per round, incorrect. It's only with bonus actions you can only cast bonus action spells. You can only cast a cantrip as your action. Reactions can happen at any point.
I understand. I just want to make sure it didn't fall into that stipulation.
Cool.
Perfect. Okay, so absorb elements. I imagine you're it's resistant now to cold, so you will each take half damage.
And is she flying towards me?
She is now hovering just below the cloud line.
As the line is slackening, I'm just going to be ratcheting it in so
Yeah.
it's still as taut as possible. I don't want to give her any slack.
Okay.
Does she have hair as we're supposed to?
She does have hair.
Okay.
She does have hair. Would you guys like to know what she looks like?
Yes, please.
Oh, you get to use the mini.
Ah!
Look at the mini here.
You
Okay. Feel free to pass around, but be gentle with her.
She's an old woman.
Though, thank you. Though she will not be gentle with you.
But she has hair. If you break the mini in real life, the
Okay,
monster dies.
so each of you, the absolute hurricane, this winter storm of cold energy washes over each of you. It also strikes some of the children.
Sorry.
Not those
My
children.
wings are
The children that could not. Thanks. Smile. Some of the children that were frozen in place are caught in the cone of cold.
And are now frozen in place.
You each take 33 points of cold damage,
Oh, yeah.
halved
Two.
to 16.
I get that halved again because of dignity.
Is that what that does? Okay. How many times are you able to use that?
As many times as I have Moxie
Oh,
points,
Moxie points,
but
got
at the end of each minute, I get a level of exhaustion.
Whoa.
That is maintained.
No.
Is Dig Deep a concentration thing or something?
No, it's just.
Use it, and after a minute,
Oh, okay. Got it.
use that.
I use it, and then after a minute, I get an exhaustion, but I can keep using it until I drop dead if I want.
So does it last for a minute? Is that what I'm- Okay, yeah, that's what I was asking.
Do you have the menu? You've been like,
All right, so she casts the cone of cold on each of you. Next up, we have Tobias.
Yes.
At the same time, creature on the rooftop with you.
Mhm.
It turns in your direction as you, unfortunately, were not very deft in pulling out your longbow, and it looks in your direction, and it puts one hand up towards the hood of its cloak, as though telling you to remain quiet. And then it turns back to watch what's going on.
You shoot it anyway.
I wanna ask him like, who are you? And
Okay. Do you want to travel over towards him?
then how far away is there another?
So he's on the next rooftop, and you could probably make the jump.
I want to ask him who he is first.
Okay.
Yeah. Who are you? And can I like investigate, try to see like more what he is? Because I'm guessing I've never seen a creature like this before.
Yes. Would you like to make an investigation check or insight check?
I want to do investigation.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
Because I want to like check him out. Like if I was going to like paint like one of the royalty and get all the
Gotcha.
details.
Yep.
Nice. 18 and then a 5. So 18 plus 11 is 29. Does have advantage on investigation checks.
Okay, Shalon.
Just so you know, I had forgotten to let you know about this. That ability has uses equal to your intelligence modifier. So just mark off a use there.
Yep.
And that'll last for 10 minutes. That you have an advantage on investigation checks.
Okay.
Wait, I think that it was included in the details, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
That
is.
it's an activated ability.
Yeah, you may use this action.
Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. So, what was the total?
29.
29.
So, peering towards the creature, you immediately adopt the mindset of, I need to remember every single detail of what I'm seeing right now. But you frame it in the way of an artist that is focusing on the focal point of their drawing with the intention of leaving its surrounding blurry so that even more attention is drawn to the focus. And so you're able to pick out that the creature's clothing actually reflects what you realize would be the sky behind them. As you kind of move your head side to side, you can actually see different constellations behind them as you adjust your gaze. And you can see, because you rolled a 29, that beneath the creature's cloak, its skin is a dark, dark gray. And where its eyes are, it emits a slight, smoky aura.
Okay.
You cannot pick out colors of the pupils.
Okay. Yeah. And then I ask him like, who are you?
Okay.
I'll just stay where I am.
Okay. It glances towards you, and it almost goes to like shush you again, but it kind of cocks its head, and you imagine that it might be open to responding to you on a subsequent turn. Okay. Next up, we have Louis.
Alright, so how far away is the witch?
She's about 30 feet away from you right now.
Up in the air?
Yeah, up at an angle.
On a broom.
Currently on a broom.
Okay.
Sick, bro.
Tether's still. Where is it attached? Like in her body?
Oh, it's currently like in like between her thigh and buttocks.
Okay.
Will he shot at that angle? Yeah, right.
Alright, I'm gonna.
Yes, the hip. That's the spot I'm looking for.
That is the word.
It is literally the hip.
Alright. I'm gonna go ahead I'm gonna run up beneath her. And then I'm gonna
Reeling the line as you go.
really
Okay.
the line as I go. And then I'm gonna yank her down. So she has to.
So make an athletics check,
Mhm.
and she will contest it.
And
Give
he'll have
advantage.
advantage because of the assistance.
No, not on this turn. He already got the advantage on the first one.
Oh, well, you gave it a different one. You said on his turn he'll have advantage.
I understand,
But then
but
you
they
just get
use
it
the
to-
moment
Okay.
in between. And because you moved, you're no longer next to Claudius and Kendrick.
That
Because
was
you
like
moved
10
to
feet ahead
go
of you guys
underneath.
pulling down.
Oh, okay. And how far can I yank her with the grappling hook thing? I looked all over.
Oh, I don't think I gave you a distance.
Yeah, I looked all over for where you sent me this information, and I can't find it. But I wrote it down on my character sheet.
I'm pretty sure it's
so I know
15
it's
feet.
15 feet.
15 feet.
Okay. All right. So I'll get exactly 15 feet away.
Okay.
And then I'm going to try to yank her towards me. Athletic check, and I don't get advantage.
Unless you have an ability that would give you advantage.
You can do it. 14.
Okay.
Should probably read
Natural 17.
it. Darn. All right. So does she just resist it?
So you begin tugging against the line now that it's taut, and she grunts out in pain, and she glares just this icy, frozen glare in your direction, pun intended. And the broom begins to try to ascend as you attempt to pull her down.
It's the broom that's keeping her up. How far up is the broom?
By the way, now that you're this close, what you had assumed was a broom is just a gnarled staff. It doesn't have any whiskers on the end.
Practical. And was that my action or a bonus action? To read?
That was your action to perform the pull.
Okay. How far up was the staff?
About 15, 20 feet.
And then what's your jump distance? Did you say the calculation?
I can
It'll be
reach
18.
exactly 15 feet, just normal into the air. So 6 feet up, and then 3 feet, or half my height above my head, so 6'9" plus 6 foot 3 feet.
So you said
I can jump and get my feet 6 feet off the ground.
That
Plus
is
my height.
insane.
Yes.
That's what
He's
I
a basketball
said.
player.
It's a 16 score in strength. I'm way above
Legit basketball
average.
player.
He's
Like
built.
NBA.
well, I'm asking what my jump distance would be.
What's your strength score?
18
So it'll be. What's your modifier? I'm sorry.
plus 4.
So what is it?
So it's
What's the
4
calculation?
plus 3 is his normal jump height, his feet off the ground.
That
so
is.
he'd make it 7
There is
feet.
no way.
Where's my player's hand?
There's
Someone
no
tell my
way that
player.
he
Average
can
human is
verti-
like a 12. Right?
Look at this one.
The average human cannot vertical 12 feet.
No, no.
Alright, I'm just
He's
gonna
vertically
say
7
Elena
He's saying-
can jump 3.
No, he's saying that the
I
hands
understand. Pro basketball players
who are
get
like
4
7
feet off the
foot plus.
ground to dunk.
Right.
And there's some.
I think
They-
we're
they-
also assuming like feet coming up to your chest, kind
I
of.
don't know. I don't know.
So the normal.
I mean, I haven't reviewed the rules on this. I haven't had to before, so
Yeah,
it's going to be in the
I did this
DMG, I
after
believe.
Reggie. So it's your strength mod plus 3 is how high your feet get, just normal straight
Wow.
off.
That's
the
incredible.
ground.
Okay, so apparently you can reach 15 feet from the ground.
Just as a curiosity point,
Yeah.
the world record vertical jump is 63.5 inches.
So 5'3".
Alright, so
Yeah.
it says when you make a high jump, you leap
World
into
record.
the air, number of feet equal to 3 plus your strength modifier. If you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump. When you make a standing high jump, you can jump only half that distance.
Okay, standing high jump is 1 plus your strength modifier.
So,
Well,
no, it's
It'd be
3
it would
plus
be
your strength
3
modifier.
if I was. If I
3
didn't
plus
use
your strength mod divided by 2 for
Yes.
standing vertical jump.
For standing
Yeah,
vertical.
yeah.
If you want to do your full high jump,
Just like there's no way standing still you get your feet 7 feet off.
And
the
then it
ground.
says, and then it says,
They got rocket boots.
and then it
It's
says you
downhill.
can extend your arms half your height above yourself during the jump. Thus, you can reach above it,
Sure.
even distance
Okay.
equal to the height of jump plus 1.5 times your height. So,
so with me, I'm 6 foot, so that's 9 foot above where
So
my feet
that's-
are.
So you can reach 3 feet above you, and then a standing vertical jump would give you 4 plus 3 is 7, divided by 2, 3.5. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but
you-
according to the rules here, it's saying that
So you can reach
12.
6 feet above your normal height.
Well,
Yeah.
according to this,
Yeah.
what Carson was saying is true. It's saying you can reach above you a distance equal to the height of the jump plus 1.5 times your height.
So that's how I get 15.
Yeah, so it's saying your standing jump is.
If that's if I had 10 feet to
I
move
mean,
ahead of
it's
it.
fine. You guys are superheroes.
Yeah.
Whatever. Apparently, you leap tall buildings with
That's
zero
what it says.
Make sure you do a super
Alright, so
We just got a bunch of Hulks over here just leaping from building to building.
I'm gonna do a running jump up and just try. She wearing like a dress type thing.
Like a cloak.
She is wearing a billowing set of robes, yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do a running jump and try to jump up and just like grab maybe her arm.
Okay,
or
so
her clothes and
just-
grab the broom.
There's a lot going on your turn, so you moved forward to get right underneath her to pull her down.
Yeah.
So you're now right underneath her.
I'll back up 10 feet and run 10 feet.
So you moved 15 feet forward,
You
Okay.
use your action to pull.
and you used your action to pull.
Alright, then I'll.
To make a jump, is it part of your movement,
Yes.
or is it
Yeah,
an
it's
action?
part of your movement.
Okay.
So
Got it.
in that case, I'll just do a. Could I reach her with just a regular standing jump? Since apparently I'm a superhuman with half the height is less.
Here's what I'll let you do.
Alright, make an athletics check.
Make an athletics check.
Okay, let's see if this one's
Your leg cramps up.
better. We should roll that for the yank. 25.
You leap. What would your standing vertical be?
Normal standing.
Based on those rules that we were just given.
Yeah, normal
4.
standing vertical would
Do you have a 4 or 5 modifier?
Here's a
I
modifier.
have a 4.
So 4 plus 3 is 7, divided by 2 is 3.5. So your normal standing vertical would be 3.5 feet off the ground, and then you can reach half your height above that.
It's a
Above your head.
it's a 1.5 feet above it, or 1.5.
No.
But
That's if you're
so-
running.
Oh, okay.
That's a running threat.
Alright.
What's your height?
I'm like 7'2".
Holy crap.
So he's a basketball player.
Okay,
I'm
got
a
it.
big,
That's
I'm a
fine.
big guy.
That's fine. So your feet are 3 feet off the ground. Your body is 7 feet off the ground. That's 10 feet. You can reach another 3.5 feet above you. You've now reached 13.5 feet into the air with a standing vertical jump. If you would like, you can grab onto the line at that height. And you're only 1.5 feet beneath her.
Alright, and I'll just try to yank her off of it just with my falling.
Sure.
Strength.
Perfect. We'll figure out if that works on the next round. So, Sig,
Okay.
you no longer see the figure in the clouds.
Did I see her get back down?
No, because you can't. All you see is the figure disappear. Because you cannot see through the clouds.
Okay.
But you do not see her on the surface like she had been before, or it had been.
Did she hear the scream?
I just.
Oh yeah, you did hear screams. That's what you heard. You heard a
Okay.
scream. Oh, you also heard a large kaboom.
Oh.
Yes, that's transferring.
Alright, I will. I owe Toby the biggest apology after this, but I'm gonna just slide under the cloud layer,
Okay.
go back to the fight, which I assumed she's gonna be fleeing. And so I thought it was
Well,
gonna
she assumed she was going to be fleeing too.
Anyway, as I descend from the clouds, the vapors just tumbling over my shoulders and my dress. As my eyes start to glow gold, and I start to, and actually they start to glow like this smoky black.
Okay.
And I start singing a song that should hurt her, should dance. So
So your movement speed is 30 feet wolf line.
60.
It's 60 wolf line? Oh.
That's
Okay,
why I
well,
super thought I could get over there.
I had asked
And
you if your movement
said
speed was
60.
30. No.
You
I said 60
He said
with your
60.
movement plus action.
He said 60 because he was
I didn't
Correct.
know you meant
Using
movement
action.
plus action.
I said
meant-
movement and then action. 30 feet. That's
Totally missed that.
it's a little too late to retroactively change that one.
Mhm.
So,
So
with your 60 movement speed, you can get below the cloud line. And once you get below the cloud line, you see Louis hanging from a line that is stuck into a nasty, frostbitten, swollen creature that is gripping a wooden staff beneath her, that is currently shrieking and apparently cursing Louis hanging beneath her. Gedrid is pointing his staff up at her, trying not to hit Louis, and Claudius is now holding a slack line in his hands,
Okay.
wondering what to do.
Alright, with that image in mind, I will not do dissonant whispers. I will instead just point at the ridiculousness of this whole situation and just be like, looks like he's got you on the line. And just Tasha's hideous laughter.
Now it's gonna be a hack.
It's a
Great.
wisdom saving throw
It's
where
already
she
an
falls
excellent.
prone.
Oh, good. If a creature, and according to flying rules, if a creature falls prone while they're flying, they instantly plummet to the ground and take whatever fall damage that would be.
Interesting. I wonder if that works for a creature on a broom of flying.
Yeah.
Does it?
Well, the broom is the
They would
broom
have
flying.
to be
It's
able
not
to
her
still
flying.
hold on to
Yeah.
the broom, no?
What's the saving throw?
The broom just takes off.
Okay. She rolled a natural 14, which gets her above 60. Good try.
The joke falls flat. And I just sit there
But she doesn't.
and I just go, and I just repeat to myself, I owe Toby the biggest apology.
Wow.
Yep.
What?
Gedrid.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff going on right now.
Going on.
I would like to note the time,
Uh-huh.
if I would.
Yeah, it's about 30 seconds or so after you fell into the clouds.
Yeah, what was the time when I fell into the clouds?
30 seconds ago. Oh, time of day?
Yes.
Nighttime.
Thanks.
I'm sorry, do you have something that would help you tell the time? Is what I'm asking. what I
I
should ask.
assume that in this super advanced world that there would be
There are no
clocks of some
timepieces. Not yet.
Maybe in the inn, because normally
Close
the
got one.
Yep, there are clocks in buildings, but they're large. Not yet
We don't got a
timepieces.
pocket watch.
It was, you estimate, sometime within the 15 minutes or so after 7 o'clock. Okay. Gedrid.
Gedrid is kind of surprised to see this hag there.
Yeah, she's surprised to see you too.
With my dreadful presence, I can sense undead.
Okay.
Am I getting a sense of undead from her?
Is that an active? Oh, it's still activated, right?
Yeah.
Because it lasts for 10 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Okay, she is not undead.
Okay. Gedrid, just corrects his stance, and he whips off his winter glove,
Ooh.
and just
Safe hand
casts his
exposed.
blight on
On the broom.
the witch.
On the witch?
If you
Yeah.
do, if
Okay.
the broom counts.
Okay. What's the saving throw? And Blight, is that a 40-foot range? Remind
It's
me.
30 foot.
But it's
Am I within
isn't that
30 feet?
You could take a few steps forward and you'd
Yeah.
be within range. Yes.
It was.
Okay. What's the saving throw?
It is Constitution 15.
Okay. Natural 18.
Oh well. I think she still takes half damage.
Yeah, sure.
She should. Yeah.
It's still a crap load of damage.
Yep. Give me your d8s, please.
There's 6 of them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
When you hold up and go, oh.
That wasn't all.
It's okay, then
That was
you can't
all
blame
ones,
us.
though.
See.
My dice have an odd loyalty.
Yes.
25 have to.
Those
12?
purple ones.
Yep,
My
yep,
friends
round down.
and I.
Okay, 12. Okay, perfect. So, Gedrid steps forward and his diminutive form kind of he pulls off one of his gloves and you see these nasty blackened fingertips
His
That-
whole hand is black.
Is it the whole hand now?
His whole hand now is black.
And he reaches this decrepit hand forward, and shooting forth from it is this crackling, zigzagging line of black energy. And as it reaches the creature, the witch, or whatever it is that's flying on this staff, it barely touches the heel of this creature, and as it does, she immediately convulses, and you watch as her skin begins to just blacken and rot before your eyes. Louis, small flakes of her skin begin to pour over you. Gross! Just as you're hanging just beneath her.
Just fall off the rope!
That's super
Gedrin,
dangerous.
you have a little bit of movement and a bonus action left.
Okay, let me see if I can do bonus action. I'm going to. Let's see. I'm gonna check and see if one of my bonus actions.
That's captured forever.
I know, what was that?
He made faces because of the music.
At the same time, so it looks like he was doing it.
We run over there and just pull it on your foot.
Okay. Oh.
We'll get two of us.
Bonus action to Shillelagh.
Okay, perfect. So you prep your staff using Shillelagh. Bust me. There's a lot of stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
And you're about 60 feet away from everyone at this point.
Okay, my speed is 30 feet. Is she 30 feet away?
No, she's right about
30 plus.
No, she's 60 feet away from you at this point.
Okay. Yeah, right at the edge of 30. If I was to move 30.
If you were to move 30, she'd be right about at the end of
Alright,
30.
I'd like to move 30.
Okay.
Okay. And then I would like to use my Blood Curse of Binding on her, which will make it so if she fails the strength saving throw, she cannot move until.
Excellent. Is there a saving throw for that being applied?
Yes.
Okay.
DC 14.
Okay. What's the attribute?
Strength.
Okay. Ooh, natural 6. Yes. So the curse takes hold.
Okay.
So
until her next turn, until my next turn, I'm sorry, she can't move. Zero feet.
Oh, she is immobilized.
Yeah.
Interesting. Louis, hanging beneath her, she stares back down towards you, renewed frustration, and you see a tiny trickle of blood pouring out of her left pupil. Her eye, by the way, or pouring out of the corner of her left eye, her eyes are pupilless. They are just a white. No, they're like a frosted blue color. Like the heart of a winter storm during the day.
Now that she's immobilized, does she just fall off the room? Or she can't?
She just has 0 movement speed.
Just punch her.
That's what I'm trying to
You'll get there. You'll get there.
Swing his legs up.
At the start
Yeah,
of
if she
at the start of the round, the clouds above you begin roiling and swirling faster and faster and faster. You feel on your back because you're just below the cloud line, or the line of the clouds. Just this chill passing over you and just causing the hair on the back of your neck to stand up. The hair on your arms begins to try to burrow itself into your body and try to keep you as warm as possible. And all of a sudden, hail begins falling from the clouds.
Whoa.
And I need everyone that is below the cloud line to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh boy.
Nat 20.
10,
8.
15.
16.
Okay, just made it. Good job. So, 15 and below will take full damage. Everyone above will take half damage. If you have an ability that allows you to negate that, tell me now. Okay. These massive softball-sized hailstones begin falling down towards the ground. Each of you suffers 6 points of bludgeoning damage and 3 points of cold damage. Those of you who rolled 16 or higher, half both.
So 9 total.
So 9 total damage.
So you said how much of bludgeoning?
6 bludgeoning, 3 cold.
Okay, 1 cold because I still have resistance to cold. From
Does it last for the round?
Yep, until the start of my next turn.
Perfect.
So
which it now is.
nice. So 9 total, and then half. Right.
Half
So
to
7 down to 3.
That's not half.
That's not the
You don't get
Oh, 7.
resistance.
Seven.
Resistance.
No,
Resistance.
I
is
resist the
also
cold, which means the total is 7. Half.
After with this full 6, bludgeoning with the 1. from
So
his
if you have
skull.
resistance from 2 sources, it quarters it.
No,
No, because he's taking half damage because you made the
just to
save.
the cold.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's exceeding the saving throw. That's not
Yeah.
resistance.
Yeah.
Got it.
I'm
Yes.
resisting the cold damage from
Perfect.
it.
3 damage.
Okay. Neat.
All right. Top of the round, we have Claudius.
That was close.
All right. So, how low is she now? 15 feet up?
She's 15 feet from the ground. She is trailing, flaking dead skin.
Okay.
She has Louis currently beneath her, using one hand to grip the what you now recognize as platinum wire that he's hanging from, and the other hand is like warding off the nasty skin flakes above him.
Excellent. I love this.
Just gonna shout.
How far away is
Get her down.
on the ground? To directly below it.
10 feet from you.
Okay. So I'm going to make the 10-foot run over there.
Yep.
And then the tiny hop to, I'm going to cast Lightning Lure 10 feet away. I'm just going to try and yank her down straight to the ground.
Okay. Lightning lure is what saving throw?
Strength.
Can she make strength saving throws? I don't know what your blood curse does. Derek. It just immobilizes her, gives her 0 movement
well,
speed, right?
I'm trying to read it again. So yeah, her speed is just reduced to 0.
Okay, so she can still
herself.
make
Yeah.
a strength saving throw. She just
15.
can't willfully move.
She can't move herself.
Okay.
Others can, I think, move her. She just has
Yeah.
the speed.
DC 15.
Natural 14 puts her above the 15.
Okay.
Does it do any damage?
Only if it hit, if she gets pulled to me.
Okay, got
So I'm going to jump all the way up to her. And,
it. You cast a spell with your action.
yes.
So. Okay. Okay, go
So are
ahead.
you
No, you're fine.
using your movement to vertical
Yeah.
jump?
Yeah, it's part of his
I
movement.
moved 10 feet forward already so I can get full vertical and just grab onto the staff. I'm going to
Okay.
use an action surge to just try and pull myself up and yank
Okay.
to knock her off of it. So I guess it's like a grapple, I guess.
So you're just trying to grab the staff or her?
Grab her.
Her, whichever. Like, what can I get to?
You could easily reach the staff, but I mean, her legs are also hanging beneath the staff. So it's whatever you want to do.
Yank her off. I want to punch her.
Okay, I will grab onto her leg and I will yank her off.
You
Okay.
don't know if you can willingly move, if you can move the staff.
Oh.
Because it is magically suspended.
That is a good point. Otherwise, I might just be climbing on top of the staff.
So, alright.
No, it's okay.
I just climb up on top of it, we sit there and just start duking it.
So
Both of us sitting on it.
you jump up and you grasp the creature. She is disgusting. She is blight ridden. She is afflicted by blood curse. She is naturally just riddled with black, putrid, frostbitten skin. She is terrifying. Her visage is the stuff of nightmares. But, notwithstanding, Claudius runs forward, leaps into the air, and grabs her around her waist. Okay.
Trying to wrestle her off of it, right?
No, you cast a spell with your action.
I use action surge to have a second action.
Nice, let's do it.
Bring it, woman.
This woman hurts.
Yeah. You're marking all your spell slots off, right? It's like for lightning lure?
Lightning is a cantrip.
Of course it is, because he has 18 of those.
I have 8 cantrips and 20 level 1 spells.
Okay, go for it.
I am a weird Swiss Army knife of magic.
Okay.
Can we put the phones away?
Sorry. I did the
7,
It's really good.
17.
Okay. So you're attempting to throw her off with the broom?
Yeah, athletics check, grapple her down.
Okay, only a natural 5. So, your weight carries you both forward, and you begin toppling towards the ground.
Does she pass me?
She will
Do
pass
you
you.
get
Yes.
the attack of opportunity? Because
I'm gonna use my sucker punch to just punch her in the face.
As she falls down, Claudius's weight is like driving her towards the ground. And
It's like pile driver.
it's just like in slow motion, she looks towards you, and her eyes just get this look like
Evil grin.
and your fist tries to connect. Is this a reaction sucker punch?
Reaction.
Oh my god.
Alright, so they have to make
He's
it.
been waiting so long to be able to use this.
Come on, dice. Don't do dirty.
Nice. Okay.
22.
Yeah, it connects with her face.
Alright, she has to make a constitution saving throw.
Poor girl. Poor girl. She's had, in one round, I think she's made like 9 saving throws.
She was just trying to bring holiday cheer.
This ain't Santa
Okay.
anymore, kiddo.
What happens if she fails?
So 9 points of damage, first of all.
Okay.
If she fails, she is stunned until the beginning of its next turn.
Nice.
She could move anyways.
Well, she's about to have a giant fire genasi land on top of her. She's probably going
With
to
a basketball
break.
player.
So,
Oof, good.
nice.
I really
She rolled a natural 1.
good.
So,
I want you to feel it.
excellent.
Feel.
Okay. Next up, we have.
It's
Her,
Toby.
her turn is over, so she's no longer stunned. But she and Claudius both hit the ground, and you hear a sickening crunch beneath Claudius. Not sure exactly what happened, but the turn is over because she was stunned.
The storm stops. She's crushed instantly.
The storm continues.
Dang it. There's more of them.
They're gonna answer
Toby.
the question.
The creature looks in your direction, and it's as if he's going to shush you again, or the creature is going to shush you again, and instead its shoulders kind of hunch forward a little bit, and it turns in your direction, and as it turns towards you, it stands very upright, very, very much so. Its heels are together, toes kind of pointed out in either direction, and it sort of cocks its head as it looks towards you. And with the barest of movement, kind of just a flexion of its calves, it leaps towards you. And as it lands, it kind of takes a few faltering steps towards you, as if it's unused to something. It now stands about 5 feet in front of you, and you can now see into the creature's hood, though it is still very, very difficult because of whatever effect its clothing is having on its appearance. You see that there is a wreathing kind of smoke around where the opening of the hood is. And it speaks to you at first in a tongue you don't understand. Recognizing that you don't understand it, it switches to common.
You're not very stealthy for one that climbs in rooftops.
I didn't climb here. I was dropped off and then left abandoned. Who are you?
Right. Someone left you here?
Yeah.
There's no need for that.
Okay.
You're so trusting.
I mean, does he have any weapons drawn?
No.
Okay.
No. In fact, you don't see hands. They seem to be tucked into whatever cloak it's wearing.
Okay.
It's sort of, but you do see that beneath kind of the trail of the cloak, you see its kind of lower few inches of its legs, and it's very, very petite, the creature, and it's wearing some sort of slippered feet, or some sort of slippers on its feet, which they seem to be affected by whatever enchantment the cloak is giving off, but they themselves do not appear to be part of the enchantment. And because of your insane passive investigation,
Right.
you notice that every once in a while the enchantment slips from off of its feet, and you see a very deep, natural green color. Makes up whatever it is that it has, whatever wrappings cover its feet. You are not supposed to be here. I was told I'd be alone. Sorry. Okay, you have an action and a bonus action. That makes up the
Right.
free action of speaking to this creature.
Okay, well, I want to look around and see if there's any more look like him, or
Make
if
a
there's anyone
perception
else around us.
That'll be your action.
Yep. Yeah. That's 22.
Yeah. You notice 4 other similar creatures. And that's in the area that you can see. You imagine if there are other creatures bearing a similar enchantment, it would be very difficult for you to see. So on 4 very nearby rooftops, you see 4 other creatures. Similarly cloaked.
Okay, I try not to let this show.
Okay. As he panics. Okay. You have a bonus action?
I'm gonna. Where am I on the roof? Like, how big is the roof? Is it?
The
I want to
building
back away so he can't push me off.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of space on the roof. The building, it seems to be multiple different buildings all sharing the same roof.
Okay.
So the rooftop itself is probably 40 or 45 feet long and about 20 feet wide.
Okay. Alright, so I'll stand in the middle of that so that way.
As you're kind of peering around, the creature, not necessarily ignoring you, but not really caring, kind of turns over towards the edge of the roof and places 1 foot kind of on the edge and just sort of leans forward, peering down into the clouds in the direction that you teleported from.
Okay. Can I ask him, like, what are you guys doing here?
Yep, and he might give you an answer on your next turn. Louis, I, just so you know, I did not expect this interaction. This is a little early for this interaction.
So is the hag? I currently see is Claudius like just on top of the hag, and then the hag's just across beneath Claudius right now.
Like the wicked witch
Oh,
in the west.
Yeah.
So you are,
curl up.
as she falls, you make your sucker punch, and you have a brief moment of just burly satisfaction, and then the broom above begins to plummet down towards the creature, and you subsequently drop with it until your feet reach the ground.
Okay. And then is the broom following along with me? And have we all fallen to the ground now?
At this point, you have reached the ground. Yes, it was part of the whole interaction with her being knocked
And
off.
the hag and Claudius have also hit the ground too.
Yes.
And is the broom still zooming down towards us?
The broom at this point is like hovering near the creature on the ground.
All right. Is she moving? Well, I guess she's still immobilized, but like, can I see her breathing? Does she still look conscious, eyes open, or is she like limp?
Do you want to check her for life, or do you want to just look at her?
I'm just gonna look because otherwise I'm just gonna punch.
Make a perception check.
Black mess.
This is to tell if there are signs of life without palpating the body.
9.
Okay. She appears to be crushed under about 80 pounds of solid metal plate armor, and however heavy Claudius is.
Is her head still exposed?
It's on the other side of Claudius from you, but you could probably get to it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start punching and kicking.
Okay.
220
Whatever
pounds
it
of man
is.
muscle.
300 pounds. Alrighty. She's gonna run up and punching. It's clobbering time.
Nice. You have advantage because she is currently, I'm going to say, restrained underneath Claudius's girth.
And prone.
That's it.
Alright, as I just get real close to her face, I'm just gonna kind of whisper in her ear before I start punching. I'm gonna be like, you can explain yourself between punches. Alright, here we go.
She does not respond.
Natural 20 for first hit.
You're never gonna respond now.
19 for second hit.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do the old 1-2 to get 2 more hits as a bonus action.
Crap.
He's gonna parrot this guy. Like what parrot
Third
did
one
to,
is another.
horse.
Third one's another 19.
Yeah, definitely hits.
You have advantage because she's prone?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Fourth one is about 20 as well.
Nice.
So,
All of these are automatic crits.
Oh boy.
alrighty.
Oh, she paralyzed?
No.
No.
If you think about it, there are times when if a creature is attacking you from within 5 feet, it's not critical. One of them is paralyzed. There are other situations as well.
Conscious?
5, 10, I don't think I'm fancy 17. 5.
Oh, I know. I'm not taking it away from him. Why would I do that? This is also fun.
2. So 46 plus
46 points of punching.
46 plus 4 times 4 is 16. So 46 plus 16 is 62.
How many attacks did you make?
4.
Okay. So that is 8 failed death saving throws.
Oh, good.
The creature that was riding the staff is no more.
You just like are stamping
Okay.
her face.
Her face is just pulp.
If I had noticed on the first hit that she was just dead, could I have spent those other attacks trying to snap the staff in half?
Sure.
Or just punching
So you punch her. So you punch her. She is definitely unconscious. There is no reaction. She
Okay.
doesn't even twitch.
Okay.
After you just clobber her in the face with that natural 20.
Okay. If that's the case, then I'm just gonna go right and then just grab the staff and just start beating the staff on the ground with the rest of that.
You grab the staff. It resists movement. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
It's also sorry.
I mean, you
Sorry.
Yeah.
Nope. Sig just goes.
Off in the distance.
14.
14. Okay.
8 death saving throw.
Yeah. Right.
Should I? Okay, I rolled all that damage for nothing.
As your hand closes around the broom, you like barely even look at it. You have the plan in your mind. I'm gonna grab the stick. I'm gonna hit her with it.
Yeah.
And if she wakes up, we'll ask her questions. If not, problem solved. That's the Louis way of doing things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your hand closes around the staff, and you go to yank it, and it resists being moved. And you feel that your palm is just being scored by terrible, terrible cold. And you suffer 15 points of cold damage.
Ouch. And that's half, Scott.
What happens to
Just gonna go, but I can't move it at all.
It resists movement,
Alright. Resists. Okay.
meaning
Alright.
it will not let you move it.
Alright, as soon as I do that, then fine. I'm just gonna take. Is there anything hard around here that I could pick up?
so much I could do with that?
Improvise weapon.
Well, you're surrounded by snow and what's left over children's snow forts. You could venture to a nearby building and maybe grab
Frozen children.
I was gonna say
like
frozen
some
child.
fencing or something.
That is not a weapon.
Alright, never mind then. I'm just
You're
gonna.
good.
No.
Yeah, right. Oh,
Alright, if that's the case then, if there's nothing around to hit the broom with, I'm just gonna start keeping an eye out for other witches. And that'll be my
so you begin kind of keeping an eye out, and you go to kind of just do a small perimeter, and you're unable to let go of the staff, which is currently floating about 3 feet off the ground.
You should lick it.
Do it. I'm gonna go, well, that's problematic.
Sig,
Gedrid!
I see that and I go, and I'm like, they got this. And they saw me come down, so they know I'm not dead. So, I'm going to feel very, very
at this
bad.
point, There are no obvious threats. We will maintain the initiative order just for the purpose of carrying out actions, but there are no obvious threats right now.
Okay. Well, the clouds are still there.
The clouds are still there.
Okay. I feel and I'm gonna
You feel really bad? Oh,
yeah,
yes, you do.
and I wanna go back but Andy really doesn't wanna interrupt what's happening. But Sig feels really bad and I wanna go
Well,
retrieve
it's a good thing
her friend.
Sig is making the decisions right now.
Yeah, so Sig
Or
uses
influencing them.
her 120 foot speed with fly. Is 60. And I'm gonna go back to check on him and try and help him get down without touching the cloud layer.
Okay. You fly back above the clouds, is that what you said?
Mhm.
Okay. With your 60 feet of movement, you make it above the clouds. And you're about that same distance from the rooftop where you left Toby. So you use your action to get over there. As you approach, you see that Toby is no longer alone on the rooftop. He is currently... Make an insight check. Okay. He is currently staring at the back of a creature cloaked in night. You've never seen it actually. Make a history check for me.
15.
Okay. As you approach the pair on the rooftop, your attention is caught by the second creature, obviously, now sharing the rooftop with Toby. And you don't immediately know what the creature is. However, you have seen enchantments like what you assume this creature is wearing before. A few years ago, you encountered this in a specific area of another plane. That plane being the Feywild.
I was about to be like, okay, and start going into like, let's try to get you down like that, stop. But seeing that, I just kind of, does he notice me again? Creature.
The creature? Oh yeah, he definitely notices you.
I'm just gonna freeze and be like, hello!
Okay.
And I would like to activate Regaling Influence.
Okay. You want to activate your ability?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. So go and mark off the use of that. And what is the name of the ability? Just so
Bewitching
everyone knows.
Charisma.
Bewitching Charisma. Perfect. Excellent. At the end of the sixth turn, we have Gedrid.
Alright, so
The creature appears to be pummeled into that non-existence. Beneath Claudius and then the fists of Louis. Louis is currently tugging at a staff, a gnarled gray staff, which he is unable to move from where it hovers about 3 feet off the ground near the creature.
When I saw my hand was frozen, I shouted to Gedrid. I was like, Gedrid, I'm stuck!
is your hand frozen or?
It's stuck to the broom and it feels real cold, like I stuck my tongue on a telephone pole when I was a kid. Whatever telephone pole is. Frozen.
Doorknob.
It's
Well,
stuck.
Lamppost.
Lamppost, yeah, that's...
Is frozen stuck? Can I see if there's like ice on it?
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Let's see. 16.
You put your little halfling face right up next to his hand because it's about the same height off the ground as your face is. And you do see on the edges of his hand that there are small tendrils of ice connecting his flesh to the wood of the staff.
Okay.
Get a hot pot of water, maybe Claudius can breathe on it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what.
It's a good idea.
I don't
Produce
know
flame.
what we can do in that case. Let me take a gander here. How about this? I'm just gonna like create a bonfire underneath the stick.
That is a 5-foot cube.
I don't want my hand burned off.
You'll be fine.
Okay, you create bonfire underneath the staff.
The body's not there, right?
No, the body is about 10 feet away.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so you're using the is it cantrip?
It's a cantrip.
Create bonfire? Excellent. So you create a bonfire, immediately all the snow in the area just melts and starts puddling beneath the magically created bonfire. And you feel some heat.
My hand loosening.
So does the cantrip deal damage?
It does.
Okay. What is the damage dealt? Is there a saving throw?
It's 2d8s with a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. You fail your saving throw.
I'm trying to move.
Burn.
This staff doesn't actually make a saving throw because it's immobile.
So I can just.
So go and roll your 2d8 damage.
Come on, let's go max again. You're burning.
No.
I'll hit him back up. 10 damage.
Okay, you suffer 10 points of fire damage. The staff also seems to be singed slightly by the spell.
My hand loosening.
Slightly.
Ouch! It hurts.
When a creature starts their turn, they'd have to save as well.
Sure.
Couldn't you just get hot water?
Possible.
This was the best thing I could do. I didn't want you
You
to freeze.
feel
I didn't want you
the
to freeze.
curse dissipate as the creature falls unconscious to the ground.
I will go over to them. Your hand is stuck to this staff, right?
Yeah. I would like to have it removed.
Yeah, you're about 20 feet from where he is right now.
I'll pull out my sword, activate my Rite of Flame to light my sword on fire.
His hand off.
All of these options.
Oh my gosh. That'd be crazy.
No, and I will. I'll hold the sword still, or the staff still,
I can't move it.
and I'll slice at this part where it's not like. So he's holding
No,
it.
I got you. Yeah.
I'll
So,
slice
like,
that apart of it
6
to
inches
try to
off from it.
destroy it. Yeah.
Make an attack roll for me.
Good thing I didn't try to sit on this.
That is going to be a 15.
Oh my gosh. You're still frozen to it.
15.
Huh?
15.
15. Okay. With a 15, you manage to get past whatever defenses protect this object. Go and roll your damage.
Okay.
Plus your fire damage, I believe, right?
You are correct. Nice max damage. Alright, that's gonna be 8 plus 6 is 12 reels. I'm sorry, I had 4.
This person we just knocked out wasn't bad.
8 plus 6 is 14, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. 14 plus 4, 18 damage for that plus fire.
Okay, perfect. I'm sorry, so it was 18 total, 4 of it being fire.
4 of it being fire.
Okay. So that was 14 slashing plus 4 fire. Okay. So you strike down with the sword, and you feel that there's a slight tug just outside of the staff, and you feel like that there's most likely some sort of magical barrier that protects the object, but you manage to push through it, and as you do push through it, the sword strikes the wood of the staff, and you see a slight crack, and then the flame begins to lick across the wood, and part of the wood is very visibly charred in that area.
Okay. I'd like to do it again.
Okay.
I see that, and I'll try to strike the same spot.
Okay. So that.
That's better. 23.
Excellent. Roll your damage.
Oof. Okay, so 10 damage. 3 of that being fire.
So 7 plus 3. Okay, as you strike down this time, you hear a very audible cracking sound. It almost went all the way through the staff, and you see that the fire seems to have a very profound impact on the now exposed inner wood of the staff. As you withdraw your sword, all of you that are nearby feel a gust of cold wind emanating from the point where you struck the staff, and there's a small of arctic cold energy that explodes outward from the wood before it then crumbles and falls, with the exception of the stuff that's slightly stuck. Kind of like when you grab...
with the exception of what's on your hand, it's still stuck there.
You know when your hands are slightly wet and you go to grab ice out of the freezer and it sticks and kind of peels off of your fingers? That's what it feels like with what pieces of the staff are still stuck to you.
Solid.
Well, thank you kindly, Rosamir. Glad to see you made it here safe.
Always gotta clean up your messes. Put my sword away. And I'm gonna walk back home.
Hold on, there's still a storm.
You take off?
What storm? It's just
The clouds are still there, right?
And y'all heard my warning
There's a
to
blizzard.
not crossing. the
He
line.
did not hear that
what
word.
did you say?
He wasn't there yet.
There's still this blizzard.
Yeah, like, what are you gonna do about it?
Find what's causing it and the dead children's.
It's called weather.
It's a magic blizzard.
Oh, see,
That
that's all you had to say.
look. You know what?
So what's causing it then?
Well, I thought it was that staff, but I really don't know.
How do we know it's a magical blizzard?
Well, we were standing around here, and some big old hailstorms started coming down, and also Sig is flying around up there somewhere, and she said, "Don't cross the clouds." You know,
That was a great impression.
Plus, this blizzard just came out of nowhere. That's magical. Blizzards don't do that.
Claudius?
So I'm gonna say, well, I know one person we could ask about whether or not this is a magical storm, and I walk over to the hag and I pull out one of like the really rinky-dink magic potions of healing and see if like she still has any hit, like if there's any pulse or anything.
Check your sign of life.
While he's doing that, can I cast Detect Magic? It's at will.
Sure.
I forgot.
But she's dead.
Oh, okay.
Is there any sign of life or still
Make
making
a medicine
death?
check for me.
Oh yeah.
Her face
She's still making death saving throws. Oh, I killed her with the punch.
Oh, that's a nat 1. You know, I'm just gonna Hail Mary it and pour it down her throat and see if that helps.
Okay. You
Well,
start, you start pouring the restorative.
I'm gonna make sure that I've got like a good like crouched over her kind of thing where she's pinned to the ground, but like
If I see him doing this, I'm gonna have my
Restrained.
boot like on her head, ready to crush her head. If she,
Her head is significantly crushed already. Where you struck her, like part of her face is kind of caved.
Good.
But you pour the restorative enchanted potion down her, what's left of her,
thinking back to my
Orifice here.
dad and how frozen your elemental beings can be
And,
not all bad.
you see a little bit of color return to her skin. She does begin to breathe very shallowly, but she is not conscious.
Alright, I'm gonna take some rope out, bind her wrist together, and let's take this one inside for questioning.
So, you bind her wrists together. One of her arms is like completely mangled. It was underneath her when you fell on top of her. It might hold, but it's pretty loose at this point, like her arm.
I mean, I feel like
Is there a doctor in here?
I can heal her if we want to, but
I feel like there's more of these things that we can.
Hold on. We just gotta wrap this up real quick because I gotta get back to the rooftop.
But I imagine she's real close to death, so if she starts getting ornery with us again, then we can, to use your vernacular, then we could end that real quick. But I figure she's our only lead right now to any magical goings on, because everything bad seems to be ice themed, and that seems to be the MO here. So,
Right. Do we have an interrogation room? I'm not taking her in the tavern where others can get hurt.
yeah.
I know a place. What, your
Going in the first
permit hole? It's not mine.
You saw it. It was that nice in. Oh no, you was eating.
No,
food.
I was eating food.
We haven't abandoned it in. That hasn't been finished.
It's a pretty fine establishment.
There's lots of rooms.
Lots of beer too. I mean, what was that stuff?
It was.
Bourbon.
Alright, so
Well, alright. Just as long as she's secure.
we're gonna go back to that place then?
Well, let's find
Alright, so
As-
I'll do a
As
10.
the four of you stand with the body prepped for travel, you do notice that there are 12 individuals currently frozen in place. There are a number of the children that were kind of croning and staring up at the clouds that no longer seem to be doing so, and they seem to be fine. But 6 of the children, along with several adults that have come out to retrieve them, are currently, the children each frozen in the exact same pose, kind of staring, hands to the side, looking up slightly, mouth open towards the sky. But each of the adults is in some variation of either cowering, or not cowering, but leaning over the child protectively, or looking up agape at the source of the magic that froze them.
They frozen solid?
They are frozen solid.
I could try to thaw them if you can try and heal them. Maybe it caught them halfway through the dying process, but I doubt that they made it.
Can I? Yeah, I think they're dead. Oh, they're dead.
They are
Unless you want
ice
to attempt
blue.
it.
They aren't ice, but their
flesh is
their flesh is frozen.
So they're not
We
inside.
can try with one.
Correct.
I wouldn't like to see what this looks like.
I don't see the point. They're dead. They're dead.
Alright. This is obviously not a good person that we're transporting.
Could have told you that.
Where's
She is our
Sig?
lead.
Okay.
Where are the two?
Toby and Sig. Back on the rooftop.
Oh,
Quick, quick.
before we... Could I pop up Bastion over the top of the cloud layer with the message to go find Sig and Toby
Okay.
and lead them back whenever
have-
they're done with whatever
Have
they're doing.
Bastion make an athletics check
You're gonna send
to fly through the storm clouds.
Oh, I was just going to try and poof him up above it, but
Well, you can't
Great.
see above it.
You don't know how high
that's a good point then. Okay.
Rick Hawk.
Imagining that he has a +0 to strength 8.
So Bastion, you give him the order, and he begins trying to make his way through the storm clouds, with the intention of what?
Finding Sig and leading
And then
her
reporting back to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Would you say that this is something that you have trained the group on? If you see Bastion, follow him.
I think so.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
how would Bastion get their attention? I'm just wondering for RP purposes.
I guess they'd be familiar with his appearance, but
Or maybe he has a certain flight pattern that says follow or danger or something like that.
yeah, waves his wings a certain way.
He has air traffic controller codes.
And his little.
He is
Dude. Foul.
no pun intended.
vowel hack. Sorry. I
Sig
will-
and Toby.
I will take
I wanna know what's happening.
Sig and Toby.
take
Okay.
psychic damage.
Okay.
I'll tell one of the adults.
So-
Oh, sorry.
Because Toby's initiative was first, I'll describe it first in his point of view. Sig, you'll be able to interact as soon as I'm done kind of explaining what's
I
happening.
feel like after all that's happened, we're pretty much out of initiative order.
Sure.
Probably. Yeah.
So, Tobias. The creature, seeing one of your companions flying up above the cloud layer, stands up and he turns back towards you, and then he comes and he just sort of stands next to you, and he begins tapping one of his feet. This isn't going anything like what I thought it was going to do.
What was it supposed to go?
Well, we were here to observe. We observed, but we were discovered. We weren't supposed to be discovered. But then you came up here. You weren't supposed to be up here. And now you're here.
Yeah.
Who's that?
The person that got me over here.
Oh, the person who abandoned you here?
Yeah, her.
Come here.
Not totally. I just kind of like float over like and I need to land because I don't know actually how long.
1 minute. No, fly is an hour, isn't it?
It's a long time.
It's
It is like an
either
hour.
10 minutes or an hour.
Fly, I
It's
believe.
10 minutes.
Oh, it's 10 minutes. You're fine.
Okay.
You're absolutely fine.
He goes, come here, and I'm like, okay. I stated like outside
His
of
voice
ours.
isn't necessarily well, he is not mean, and he is not necessarily forceful, but he speaks in a way where he expects to be obeyed.
Right.
Just authoritative. Right. Well, I know who you are. You've been doing things. Why are you here?
Oh, we were following that disturbance.
Right, yes, and you handled it, I see, in the way that you do everything.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping to pursue her and question her, and I thought she was going to be hanging in the line and we'd have to, like, bolt. But, that's clearly not what happened, and I'm very sorry for leaving you up here. I didn't know how to communicate.
Yeah, that could be helpful.
Yeah, I need to work on that, obviously. Do you know anything about this fog? This clouds?
The clouds. The clouds come with her.
Well, the woman that was murdered? Or was someone else?
Murdered.
Oh yeah, she's totally slaughtered, that's what we did.
Wait, who?
Sure, yeah. That's why the clouds are still here.
Here's a good point.
So who are you talking about? That's why I was clarifying.
Probably the same creatures. If you think you killed her, you're in for a surprise.
Oh good.
Anyway.
Talking about?
Oh! Right, you probably didn't see any of it.
No.
At this point, he gives a sharp whistle, and the four creatures, similarly garbed that you had seen on surrounding rooftops, that you are now seeing for the first time, start vaulting from rooftop to rooftop until they're not threateningly, but they, in obvious casuality, stand in a ring around you.
I'm gonna put my hand on my rapier just in case.
Did you have something you wanted to say?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
I was familiar with the spell, but
Correct.
what is it?
The enchantment?
Yeah.
Oh, it is Midnight's Essence.
Ooh. Okay. Can I recognize these creatures as
That name might change.
okay?
I just realized.
It's a cool name though.
I know, but it comes from a literary work, and I'm
Okay.
surprised that Jesse didn't recognize it.
What?
Okay. Midnight Essence. And I was like, oh shoot, I haven't changed the name of that enchantment.
Are you not
Midnight's Cloak, we'll just call it that. There we go. No plagiarism there.
Are you not from the Feywild?
Well, you're very perceptive. We are from the Feywild.
I just like magic. And I just kind of sleep over and land on the roof. As I have no idea how long this conversation is going to last. And, we have our compatriots, but it occurs to me that out of the lot of us, Toby here are better. Actually, I would know not to give a name. So, me and my friends here are probably the more talkative ones anyway. So I assume he's probably asked who you are?
So funny.
He's like, what? Like,
It's coming up anniversary.
You're like, I'm so
Curious
antisocial,
stories.
it's crazy. Well, I'm the leader of an organization that has been keeping an eye on the creature which you think you killed. We are hoping to follow her back to her lair to rescue some of our
compatriots who have fallen under her influence. But now it seems that we've got another mess to clean up and another massacre to prevent. So
I'm afraid you're little late.
that's not the massacre that I was talking about.
Why are you so interested in helping us mere mortals?
I'm not. I'm interested in rescuing my kin.
What happened to them?
And who are they? Like, what do they have to do with this area?
I don't. That's the problem. They were pulled from our world to yours 2 years ago.
Well, that's very difficult to achieve.
It was a bit out of our control. It happened during what you call the best support alignment.
I'm very familiar with that event, yes.
Right.
Thoughts to me?
Well, I want to know what happened.
That was amazing.
What happened to your people? You know, they came here, and then this creature did something.
They came here, and the creature which you fought down below, or rather your friends fought, is much stronger than she was on the other side. What we've been able to surmise after coming here to inquire after the fate of our kin is that she found a way to subjugate them. You see, they are like us. They are darklings.
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 Do I know what that is?
You do.
Oh, good. What can you tell me about them that I might know?
Darklings are creatures of shadow and smoke. They have been occasionally nicknamed the Feywild's Assassin, the Perfect Assassin. However, they do not go out of their way to kill others. If needed, they are able to do so without attracting attention, and under cover of night, they are nearly invisible. They are generally chaotic good, though some of them, depending on the court which they belong to, are more of a chaotic neutral.
Am I aware of any symbols that might indicate which court they belong to?
On their person, nothing obvious,
Okay.
though you would know to recognize them if you saw them.
Okay, cool. So you're here to protect your own. She has them captive, or is she using their abilities to disguise herself?
Oh, I'm sorry, not to disguise herself.
She is currently holding them captive, and I fear she's used them to... She has taken advantage of their ability to blend into the night.
I'm very sorry about that.
It is not our desire to create sorrow in others, and that our kin have been made to do so. Brings us great pain.
Make an insight check.
That's 12. Oh, that's really good. Lots. 29.
Okay. You're unable to see his face. However, from his posture and the tone of his words, he appears genuinely shaken at the idea of his friends and potentially family being made to murder.
Okay. Alright, well, if this creature is still alive, I have to warn my friends. Is there any way I can contact you for your help in the future in retrieving your friends?
You won't need to.
You'll have eyes on us?
It's our job. It's what we do.
Better keep it PG.
Not what I signed up for.
Do you know how to get past the clown man without being
It's a nervous wreck.
What's the new guy on his first day?
No, there is no way. Not without being cursed. Though I imagine you've already been affected by it.
Yes.
The storm does have an edge. If you fly far enough, you'll find it.
Okay. Well, I don't suppose I have to worry about myself anymore.
Why not?
I'm trying to get my friend down.
Right.
Where's the edge? The closest edge.
You could walk through the building.
Alright. Is
Enter the
Okay.
building, the clouds will not
we'll
affect you there.
contact you if we need your help.
We'll contact you.
Of course. And I just turn around and I'm like, unless you have it.
Alright.
I want to find like any kind of hatch under the roof and just like onto me.
Yeah, there's actually a rooftop entrance.
Okay.
And there's a stairwell leading down.
I will take that. Unless it's locked.
It's not locked because surprisingly, no one locks their doors in this kind of a town.
That's
Nice.
seems stupid right about now,
Yep.
but okay.
City.
The four of you. You're currently carrying the corpse, or no, I'm sorry, the barely alive creature to the location which you discussed.
Yeah.
What do I know about hags?
Oh, make a history check for me.
Would I know anything either?
He is a monster hunter.
I did know.
Yes, because of where your background is, you can make a history check as well.
19.
I assume I have no.
23.
All right. No. Being in the frontiers, you would not have experience with hags.
It's an old lady.
Here's the thing about hags. The very first thing, as you're transporting her, both of you kind of realize at the same moment. Wait a minute. Hags are usually solitary creatures, and this one has not shown any signs of operating with others. And you know it is very rare, though it does happen, for a hag to operate with another of her kind. This hag specifically seems to represent, and Vosimir would know this over Claudius, you know because of where your group of people which you're associated with, where the other blood hunters are located, you are familiar with what is known as a Buer hag. This particular hag is known for dominating snow-covered peaks and for creating difficult travel conditions for people who are moving near her domain, and then finding ways to capture, mutilate, and utilize their corpses.
She seems really out of place here. Why is that? They don't normally inhabit or near small villages like this. They're usually on big mountains at the tops, passes, places that,
Unsettled.
yeah.
Alright.
But they usually like to play with their prey, take them back, use them, mutilate them. She could be taking these villagers, doing things with them.
So you think she has some kind of
Lair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to be nigh impossible to find it
Are we
on
sure?
our own.
Are we sure this is what was causing it? I mean, maybe she's working for something.
They tend to do storms like this, just up in the mountains, not in villages.
I just feel like she went down rather easily.
Well, she is an old lady.
Did.
She is a very old-looking lady.
I'm pretty sure you'd be down pretty quick if you got pummeled into the ground like that.
Take that as a compliment.
I almost think we should let her go and follow her, track her.
Why not just force her to show us where?
She's not gonna cooperate.
They're too clever.
Why would
for
she?
that.
Why would she?
Because we'll kill her if she doesn't.
We're gonna kill her either way.
I said we just chop her
She'll
head
know
off
that as
right
soon as
now.
we. What was that?
I said we just chop her head off right now.
I would agree.
I
How are we
mean,
gonna find her lair?
well, I mean,
And there's the people that have gone missing. We're not sure if they're actually dead yet.
is there any way we can extract information from her mind by force and magics?
I can't do. I don't have nothing like that.
What about Mistress Dead People?
Mr. Dead people. Oh, you're talking about
Jeway, yeah,
Man.
Voodoo Lady.
Mama Jewel.
You guys met with her, I didn't. I just know she liked bodies.
Well, I don't think that would work too well.
First of all, where's the new guy? Did we already lose him?
Well,
Toby,
that's a curious
Sig
question.
took her. It
Yeah.
took him.
Sig
Can't tell.
teleported
It's hard to tell the
Yeah, somewhere.
Not
when
wearing
I
a
pointed
dress.
to where the thing was flying around, Sig just immediately. Boop.
I mean, how far away from the fight are we right now?
We could try this.
Probably taking over.
Sig!
You're probably winding your way towards the inn, or towards the tavern, so it's not to give an obvious trail, but you're probably a 5 to 10 minute walk away.
I think we should figure out what we're gonna do before we actually take her to the tavern, because I don't like the idea much of letting her go, because then she'll know that we're gonna follow her, and then she'll disappear to who knows where.
Well, if we take her outside the village, we hide, wait for her to wake up and follow her.
Well, if she has any kind of brain in that skull of hers that's still left from your punching, I think she's gonna think if she wakes up in the wilderness, oh wow, last thing I remember I was fighting with some crazy amazing folks. I
Sure.
guess I'll just wander on home.
Well, what would you do though?
If I was her,
Would you
Get
go
out of
home,
Dodge.
get back to your lair where you have everything that you need to heal, to recuperate, where no one else knows where it is?
So we
Trust
try-
me, I know monsters. They always go back to their lair.
well, I trust your opinion. You're a lot better at this than I am.
How do we follow her though? What would stop her from just disappearing back to wherever they came from as soon as she
She
leaves?
would have to travel. They can't just poof.
Well, we
Back to
got
the
rid of
lair.
her broom, so she'd at
It
least
would-
have to leave tracks.
Exactly.
Unless she's teleporting, which could happen.
Could we
Or tree striding or some other nonsense. But
make a deal with her?
I don't know.
I don't think that's advisable in any case I've ever heard of.
Let's talk to the others.
Yeah, I think priority one is finding Sig and Toby. That's his name. Toby.
If she wakes up again, knock her out.
What we could do, shake her a little bit, see if she's awake.
Nothing.
Okay. we could hold her captive and put really weak guards on it, be real bad, prison keepers, and she he's, and then we track her. And then she'd feel like, it was her idea.
I never much did like dramas.
Here's something to consider. If we let her go, then track her back to a lair, we'd have to fight her in her lair.
Weakened. She'd be weakened. We'll give her time to heal.
I think being in her lair would more than make up for her weaknesses.
We don't have to have her let her get into her lair. We just need to see where she's about to go in and stop.
While we're discussing this, I'm just going to start ritual casting Tensor's floating disc so I don't have to carry this woman around.
If your arms are getting tired, I can hold on to her.
It's like holding her by
All of
the
a sudden you look over and Claudius is just sort of strolling and the body is floating on a silver colored disc through the walkways of the city.
I don't know. I just don't like the idea of letting her get powerful again when we have her at our mercy.
Pushing it.
There has to be a way to get the information we need without letting her recuperate.
Yeah, how?
Well, maybe
Torch.
Sig can charm her.
Torch, she's not gonna talk.
Sig is
What-
pretty
what-
charmful.
What
Maybe
language
she
do
likes
hacks
lady
usually
folks.
talk?
She could.
Would I know what language they usually use?
She's a witch.
Ooh. What was your history check?
It was a
23,
19.
25?
It was 19.
19 total?
19.
23 total.
And yours
for
is
that.
23. You know that they typically speak common and some form of elemental.
Well,
I might understand the dialect. arrived after.
I think number one priority is
Claudius,
finding
you
our two friends.
feel like if you were to spend enough time listening to her, you might be able to begin to understand her. Because even the tidbits that you heard from her in the middle of the fight, you knew it was right on the edge of your understanding.
I think number one priority is finding our two missing folks. In the meantime, some of us can continue to guard the hag. One of us goes off to find the two that are missing. Maybe we meet up back up at the abandoned tavern and discuss what
How
to
about
do.
we all go looking for them together? Or I thought we were far away from here.
Are we walking back towards the
So,
big tavern or the
I don't know.
empty tavern?
No, you were right in front of the big tavern. That's where you had your fight. You're walking about 1,000 feet away to the under construction tavern, which means they're about 1,060 feet away from you.
Did
Because they were
Bastion
they were
ever
still
make his
in
way through
the
that
city
storm
center.
to get to him?
No.
Okay.
He fought it for a while, and if he had managed to break the top, they would not have been on the rooftop anymore.
Okay. I'll occasionally look through his eyes and be like, yeah, there's no progress there.
Every once in a while, Claudius kind of stops, his eyes glaze over, and he can't hear anything that you guys are saying. Then he'll keep walking, and he'll just kind of shake his head a little bit.
What was that?
Yeah, my Bastion's having no luck in getting to him.
Alright. Well, maybe if I go back that way, so I can just start showing their names.
Would you like to summon Bastion back towards you then?
Yeah.
Okay, so snap your fingers. Bastion appears back at your side. Toby and Sig, you guys arrive at the base of the building. There's a bit of commotion. Most people, however, have just shut their doors up tight inside the building, which appears to be a tenement. So there are many, many different residences on the various floors of this building.
The commotion, are they mostly adults?
I'm sorry, what do you mean by the commotion? Like the people moving around in the building?
Oh, never mind. Sorry. Are you talking about the building we're in, or once
The
we
building
get
that
out?
you're currently walking down,
Okay.
there was some commotion that you could hear of people kind of moving around in the various apartments and stuff as you were walking by them, but you don't see anyone in the hallways as you make your way to the
Do I
bottom.
remember what this building was?
This building
Yeah.
is a tenement building, so it's an
Okay,
apartment
okay.
building.
Sorry, my brain was imagining us stepping out and I created a whole different image. Okay.
Gotcha.
So
And you actually, you didn't know what this building was beforehand because you were only in the square being lauded
I'm
and sung to.
amazing.
Yes, you are.
Okay, I just. Okay. That was interesting.
What happened?
Well, when I went through the crowd there and I was trying to show up a bit,
Yeah, and you almost died?
well, no, I'm going to die. I believe the cloud layer holds the curse that people have been falling under, and according to what everyone else has said, I've got barely 6 hours until I drop dead.
Yeah, about 15
So-
minutes less than that now, from what you can
Yeah.
tell.
So we should have.
On-the-job training
Okay.
has not been good for Toby.
I, however, need to
For vacation.
grab something
Yeah.
on my way
First
over.
mission vacation.
I bet they've gone back to that ridiculous half-built tavern. So many people, so many apologies. Primarily you. I'm so sorry for leaving you up there. I thought it was going to be a chase, and then it wasn't. It was in the wrong direction, and I'm very, very sorry.
And then the clouds all of them stuck there. And
Yeah, not a lot I could have anticipated with that. Is there anything I can do to make it up to you?
don't do it again,
I doubt I'll have the chance.
because you'll be dead.
Because I'll be dead. So let's go this way. And
And she starts walking.
I just start like going down the steps and just pass everybody, and I just say hello, and I just like
Oh,
go
there's
past.
no one out.
Oh, no one out right
You
now.
do see a number of still unmoving people.
Well, I was imagining that there was like
How many frozen?
No, when the fight started, everyone cleared out.
okay. So I want to go.
You
Given
just
that
see
it was right.
people that are. You see people not moving. You don't know yet that they're frozen.
I do.
Okay. So why are there people still here?
You probably noticed that they were frozen after the cone of cold went off.
I want to go to the just a few yards away to the front of the inn.
Okay.
And I want to just knock, and I want to get somebody who's not going to be scarred.
Good luck.
So a child, not a child.
Sure. Toby, you had said something.
I wanted to go look at the people because they still,
Okay.
I don't know they're
So
frozen.
you go and examine the people as Sig kind of walks up the steps
Mhm.
towards the Talawan Inn, a massive building at the peak point, the apex of this oval area in the center of town. And as you hear her kind of knocking on the door, which opens, and she begins talking with someone, you begin to realize that these are statues of the people that once occupied this space. In various positions, at least the adults are all, there are 4 or so adults, 8 adults, and then the 6 children, which the 6 children are all frozen in the same exact position. None of them appeared to even have reacted to being overcome by whatever it was that froze them in place, but each of the adults is in a position either of attempting to protect the child, covering them with their body, or kind of staring and pointing at, and holding a hand outstretched, attempting to feebly stop the storm that came. The door opens barely. That was really good. The person that looks out is kind of one of the drudges of the inn, and he kind of peers out, and when he sees it's you, he opens the door the rest of the way, and you see he has a massive iron strapped cudgel in one of his hands, and when he sees you, he puts it down to the side.
Oh, is it gone?
Just a moment, not quite. And I just kind of step in. I imagine like people are kind of.
You only see adults.
Okay.
All of the children seem to have been closeted away, and
Okay.
each of the adults in the kind of main entryway of the inn, which you can barely see, splits off into 4 different rooms, and each of the adults that are in this room have something in hand, a chair leg, table, leg, whatever.
Okay, so I don't have to fake anything then.
They're very,
when
very
I
scared.
walk in, I drop my just fake smile and I go, okay, no children about. We did our best. The bodies need to be taken care of.
What happened out there? Did you drive it off? Is it coming back?
It's been taken care of for now. We're going to figure out more details, and we're going to follow this beast back to its lair, and we're going to find, alive or dead, the rest of your missing people. Now, I need assistance. For our children, we can't have. For your children, we can't have these unfortunate souls staying out there in the middle of the street. Could I get some strong, able gentlemen to try and peacefully, respectfully get them to a place of rest?
Make a persuasion check.
Has it been, I mean, I don't need it, but has it been 10 minutes?
What's the roll?
It's a 22.
22 total?
Yeah.
A couple of the men kind of get an angry look on their face, but at the same point, they also step forward like, you're right, there's work that needs to be done. A few of the women kind of rush out ahead. They shoulder their way past the men, and each of them kind of gives you a very respectful nod as they do so. And as they make their way down the steps, Toby, you see a number of adults making their way out of the inn, and Sig, who appears to be wreathed in an almost imperceptible glow. You don't think anyone else can see it, but you're very acute at noticing what other people should not or would not, unless they were looking intently. And you notice something about her. The adults kind of run down the steps carefully to avoid any of the ice, which now slicks the area as some of the hail has left slippery bits behind. And a few of the women make their way towards the 6 frozen children, and you can see most of them, their faces filled with tears, and they, a few of the women kind of kneel down in front of the children, and there's a man who stands before one of the boys, and he stares down at it, and you see him attempting to put the best face on as possible. And finally, his composure breaks, and he just begins to sob. He kneels down, he places his face just uncaringly against the cold and frozen flesh of the boy, and begins to wail into the stormy night. Sig comes down the steps, kind of looks over the crowd, and approaches you.
We got to go now.
Right? Don't need help?
We need to meet up with everyone else.
Oh yeah, where is everyone?
Probably back at that tavern.
Okay.
The rundown one.
Oh yeah, that one. I meant that.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. Okay.
I think we best hurry.
Okay, I don't want to fly.
I won't make you.
About 6 or 7 minutes or so after a lot of you arrive, Claudius.
So we're headed back to the big
You've
tent?
arrived at this point, yeah.
Okay.
To the unfinished tavern.
Unfinished.
Okay. About 6 or 7 minutes after you arrive, Sig and Toby walk through the front door. In a little bit of a huff, but not much. Just they briskly walked their way over here, and as you enter, you see them they're all standing around this silver floating disc, and they're debating what to do with the body.
Does anyone have a jacket?
She's gonna die.
Each of you look over as Sig enters, and the moment she crosses the threshold, it seems that the strength which she had been holding on to finally kind of gives out a little bit, and she staggers a bit and leans against the bar, which still holds the cask of bourbon.
You said Sig's gonna die?
I'll go over to
She
her
wasn't even in the
fireplace.
fight.
I'll go over to her fireplace and start
There
a
is a
fire.
hearth, yes.
Yeah, I'll start a fire and hand her a bottle of bourbon to drink this.
She said she feels cold like all the other people before they die.
I'm cursed. I'm sorry. Is she alive? On purpose?
Look, it was their idea.
It was their idea,
I
but
was-
we
Really?
think that
You're
they're
usually so quick and everything. Very, very dead.
I did, but they put a potion in her mouth and was like, let's keep it back alive. I'm just along
I
for
was-
the ride,
I was
honestly.
keeping our options open. In any case, as soon as I see that Vozimir's clear of the tinder, I'm just going to light it up with a bonfire in there.
I'm assuming you wanted to follow it back to its cave, lair, whatever.
Well, I wanted to kill it, but Claudius healed it.
well, I don't think it
And now we need to figure out what we're going to do with
It
it.
is down there.
So it does present us an option of following it, though.
In its current state, we can still do the whole
We
dead
could
thing
kill
if that's
it.
what you prefer.
And we could ask the lady to ask it to talk to us.
Yeah, that's what I said. Mama Juju, or whatever her name.
Who at this point is monitoring the body?
Me, I'm standing next to it.
Are you monitoring the body, or are you taking part in the conversation?
I can stand next to the body and speak at the same time, can't I?
For what I'm about to ask, I need to know if you are dividing your attention between the body and the people in the room, or if you are solely paying attention to the body.
I mean, a connoisseur of bodies. It's probably.
Yes, I had assumed that would be the case.
Can I also keep a wary eye on it, knowing
Sure.
that it's still alive? Always
Absolutely.
keeping tabs on what it's doing.
And if it moves in any way, you would absolutely notice.
Go right away.
Gedrick, as everyone else is, the debate is heated. What to do with the body, how to make the most use out of it. Progressively, as you guys kind of walked over here, because of the healing that was administered to the creature, it was for a time gradually looking more and more healthy, to the point where she no longer looks to be affected by the blight which was cast on her. However, over the last minute or so, she has begun to grow wan. Her skin all across her body now appears to be sunken, and she just appears to be growing thinner.
You might not have this thing for much longer. It's fading away. Does that usually happen to hags? What I know.
You've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
If
Not
Gedrick
usually when
describes to
one
you what
dies.
happens,
Not usually one dies.
no, normally when they die, they die.
I wonder if this doesn't normally happen. What if one of the captives she took, her essence is transferred to one of the captives? I don't know how hags work. I don't know how magic works.
So you're saying
That was an amazing theory to pull out of your butt. Just for Louis, I mean, that was really cool.
I'm not dumb.
So you mean like transferring yourself to a different host?
Yeah.
So
How do hags reproduce? I've heard rumors of hags stealing little girls, and that's
Let's not.
those are just bedtime stories.
Well, they're real. I say
So
let's
is
not.
that
But they don't steal their bodies.
They turn little girls into hags. Oh, that's how they actually do it. I don't know. That's one of the mama told me.
Have I ever heard of anything like that?
I think you're just trying to get you to eat your
No,
vegetables.
well, I was just thinking back to the different courts that you had visited, and no, you would not have heard that. That part of hag reproduction.
Is the body still going?
Yeah, over the course of every minute,
I want to
it
slap
appears to
her
be
away.
growing thinner.
I want to see if I can slap her away.
Okay.
Do you think that it's being inside
Just
of
like-
a warm room that's causing her to
I
wither?
go over. And I just go.
It didn't begin until you got to the end.
On her face.
Okay. So you slap her with the intention of waking her.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say, if I see some goodness, I got my hand like around her neck just in case.
Yeah. So the eyes, which had been open, just in her unconscious state, but sightless, you give her a few good slaps with the intention of rousing her and waking her. And the eyes, which you now realize are lidless. She has no eyelids. The eyes kind of twitch in your direction, and as you go to land another blow, you're met with what you recognize to be an arcane shield as you go to touch her flesh. And you hear just this rasping, nasty air leaving a dusty tunnel of a voice. Why do you meddle with me?
You were killing folk. We stopped that from happening.
Just this trivial information. You have interacted so much. Planning.
What kind of interruptions and what kind of planning?
Kind of interactions that lead to the mutilation of my body.
Ha!
So you're drawing power from the people that you're killing?
No,
We did this. Not to the great player.
you interrupted me by mutilating my body.
I mean, that is a fair point.
Why the children? Which?
Because the younger they are, the stronger they are.
Stronger how?
As the conversation continues, she grows weaker and weaker and
We made her.
to the point where kind of the tail end of the conversation, from what you can tell, most of her bones have likely dissolved within the bag that is her flesh.
Okay, I'm gonna say move, and I'm going to like grab at her throat myself, and I'm going to say,
Oh, we're holding hands now.
yeah, sure.
That's where my hand is.
I know. I was trying to get you.
She has really tiny hands,
I
so she
trust
just slides it
Whatever,
right
I'll-
up.
I trust
I'll-
my hands more than yours.
And I will just say, I can rip your soul from your body, and you won't make it back to wherever you're trying to go.
Make an intimidation check.
She intimidated him.
Toby's in the corner.
He needs
Come on,
the
baby.
instruction.
Toby's like, I didn't get briefed on any of you people.
What is that? No! Oh!
2.
Less than successful.
The total's just, well, my intimidation's pretty bedonks, so, I mean, it's...
Fire redhead.
10. Okay. At this point, the
Come on
hag
now.
locks eyes with yours, and
Looking so
you feel as your hand is tensing around her upper throat, just beneath what's left of her jaw. You feel the last of the life leave her body in a final.
And I just, like...
The death rattles cease.
Gonna toss her to the ground. Gildred, you can speak with dead, can't you?
I have told you this before. I can talk at the dead people, but they never talk back.
That was you gain inspiration.
Oh, that would've been so cool.
Wait, you actually can't speak with dead?
I can't. I've told
No,
you.
I thought you had the spell! You
No,
made
that's why I
zombie.
suggested the what's her name?
Jewett.
Jewett.
Yeah, I was
If
saying
there's a
that.
person in this town that can speak with dead, it's probably Madame Jouet.
That's what I was
Alright.
saying. We probably should have wheeled
Is
her
she just
outside or
dust?
something, maybe.
Or is she just crumpled bone?
I don't think
She
hags
is a
melt
bag of
in
flesh
the heat.
and black robe.
It started whenever
She
she
has
came
skull.
inside.
I think the
No,
last been
No, her face has completely sunken in. She is flat.
I'm still thinking on that whole essence transfer theory. She didn't seem scared of that. She seemed glad.
Her soul's going
I think
somewhere
her
else.
bones was made of ice, and
What?
she melted.
When I punched the bones, did it feel like ice?
Who are you asking then?
God.
When you punched her,
Did
did
the
her bones feel like ice?
Yeah.
That would feel the
anything
same as
weird.
any bone.
It would probably feel a little firmer.
I punched bone
A lot.
and ice.
A lot.
A lot.
Actually, I think ice of the same thickness as
Ice
your
is
bone will
great.
probably feel the same.
Yeah, they break.
It's ceramic.
Did it feel different?
No, didn't feel any different than normal punches.
5 hours to live at most.
You have 5
I would
hours.
like to if we
You currently have 5 hours and 25 minutes.
fabulous.
All right.
All right.
I was
Madam
going to
Joy,
assume the shorter end and
perhaps.
say 5 hours at most.
That's probably safest.
I can
Um.
honestly say I don't think we'll get anything from trying to talk to that bag with nothing.
you're a monster
It needs
tracker.
a jaw and it doesn't have one.
Yeah, no,
It
we
doesn't
don't
have
have a
a-
monster to track.
Yes,
The spell says it needs a drum.
yes.
Do you know if these hags
That's
have
why
ice bones?
Skull.
Gotcha.
Hags do not
That
have
makes
ice
sense.
bones.
Okay,
Some
see,
people just
no
eat
ice
ice.
bones. So, essence transfer theory
This could be a special type of
All right.
hag with ice bones.
This is all very new.
is every day she has paper skin and glass bones.
Can I gather your attention? Just for a suggestion of how we can move forward in these precious remaining hours of Sig's life.
Dearly departed.
I just drink more of the bourbon. Just like,
I say we, as quickly as possible, cross the lake to where all the other people have been disappearing
I was just about to suggest that.
to. That two feathers think alike.
Honestly, we just need to pick up any.
What? It's like some sort of almond.
It's a colloquialism, okay?
it's a mash
think
of
it's-
birds of a feather and
Yeah.
grapevines.
I love that so much.
Two feathers think alike.
Sig understand.
I mean, feathers don't think
Honestly,
at all.
we
so-
do need to pick up a trail quickly.
Okay.
I. The only thing we know is it's across the lake.
There's no trail sheep flew.
Out of
Something.
Out of
We need to
character.
find something.
Are y'all gonna tell us about the star people and them saying we didn't kill her? Because I feel like that'd be important information to discuss now.
I'm
Still freaked out about.
I looked for Toby. Is he still peeing his pants in the corner?
I don't know, Toby, what's your reaction in general?
To see a hag melt in the flesh.
Seeing the hag melt doesn't.
The sequence of events.
Yeah, the sequence of events is that he's freaked out about the whole, what's the right word? About everyone dying suddenly down below, and he's just
So,
away from all of it.
Sequence of events is Gedrid said he saw something. Sig teleported with you,
Right,
left you on a rooftop, disappeared into the clouds, came up and said she was cursed.
right.
But there's back below the clouds.
Strange new people.
You see strange new people. Strange new people decide to talk to you.
Yeah.
Sig comes up from the clouds, now shivering with cold, comes
Right.
back over to you, chats with the new people. The new people apparently have been watching you and observing you and tracking this creature,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
whose name you didn't think to ask for.
No.
You went down the building after you decided it was time to be done with that conversation. Discovered all the frozen people. You saw the
Yeah.
parents come outside.
Dad emotionally scarred.
Dad, emotionally scarred for life, went back to the tavern, saw a hag's body melt,
Basically, yeah.
It's been a rough
and
35 minutes.
Yeah. It's been the worst.
and this has
35
all
minutes.
been in just about 35 minutes.
And I think that everyone's gonna die. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm afraid of clouds now too.
Yes.
You know, it's every cloud. If you touch it, you die in 6 hours.
There's none of the clouds in here. I'm just a lot to process.
Alright.
So I am going to find a boat. We are going to cross the lake,
I have a
That's
boat.
and you have a boat.
Well, I have a canoe.
How many of us can fit in it? 4 with all of our gear? Because I don't know how long we're going to be out there.
I can always make a add-ons
Only-
and seats out.
I
of
won't
ice.
be. I'll just be dead weight.
How about somebody go find the Grimbeards?
The what?
The Grimbeards, somebody go find them.
Yeah.
We can-
So we got the tents that
the
were set
dwarves.
up.
The dwarves.
Oh, I was like,
You know,
Dragonborn
Your
Greybeards.
minders, like, they're supposed to be watching over you.
so somebody go find
They're
them.
like your babysitters,
I-
and they have been nowhere.
They're probably drunk in
They're
a bar.
probably drinking. They think this is a vacation.
It was supposed to be.
I would like to go as fast as possible.
That's what I'm saying. Let's go.
Alright, let's leave the hag. And I just kind of press digitate, which probably just
Throw it in
means
the fire.
like a little bit.
Throw it in the fire. Burn it.
I pick it up.
I.
Everyone have any lessons?
When you pick it up,
Alright.
it's just like canvas over your arms.
Gross.
Just
Make a cloak out of her.
Is there any
What?
pockets on the road?
it's her body is
Does
currently
anyone have
like
a
a
tracking
loose.
spell?
It's like an
Maybe
empty
this is still
wineskin
part of
wrapped in
her.
cloth.
We can use it to track her.
I can
Yeah.
cast.
Yeah. We,
I'm not touching that thing.
I like how you looked at me like, don't make me do it, Daddy.
I'll look through the pockets real quick. Standard procedure. Yes.
That's amazing. What a great idea.
I was.
Make an investigation check.
Cool.
Throw it in the fire.
Ah,
Look through the pockets later.
That's okay. As you pick up the body off of the tensor's floating disc, what's the duration on that, by the way?
It's an hour.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So you picked it up,
It's my journey.
and it immediately just, like, between your arms, it begins to sag, and then both ends just like it's just an empty skin at this point. And the arms and the legs just sort of plop down on either side of your arms as you carry it. As you do, several things fall to the ground.
Okay.
I'll go take a look at them.
Would you like to pick
Yeah.
I would like
Yes, please.
this.
Don't touch it!
I'll
There are
set
three
her back
things.
down.
There are three things. The first one that you notice, because it is the largest of the three, is about the size of a softball. It is a crystal globe. And as you peer into it or look at it, it seems to catch and reflect both. I don't know. Things with light. It seems to cast the light of the fire in very strange ways. In fact, it seems to act exactly opposite of what you would expect. As the light from the created bonfire, or real fire? Is it real fire or not?
It's a real fire.
Okay.
Yeah,
As-
I just used it to light it. Now
Got
that
it.
it's going.
So, create bonfire is not magical flame.
It is.
It is magical flame, but then
It has heat.
it
Okay.
catches things on fire.
Perfect.
So once the things are on fire,
So it creates natural fire as well.
yeah.
Okay, perfect. So as it catches the light from the fire, it is refracted in weird ways and projected out the opposite end in an opposite direction from what you would expect. Okay, the second object actually clatters to the floor, and it seems to be a rosary. So it is a leather thong, which is currently lined with what appear to be many different bones. All of them are digits, so they're hand or finger bones.
Well, that's eerie.
Some people have really weird underwear choices.
Various sizes.
And the third?
Oh, the third object is a pair of feathers.
Look at that.
They think together.
Oh, that's funny. Nope, but they are a pair of feathers, and the feathers are, they're a deep, deep brown in color.
All right.
Can I
Can anyone
Tinted with
cast-
gray.
cast detect magic on the items?
You can cast Detect Magic on the 30-foot area around you. Yes.
Yes, I will cast detect magic.
Perfect. Are you casting it
Actually,
as a spell
it can
or
be self
ritual?
or 30, so it says at will.
Well, you cast it on yourself, and it has a 30-foot range.
Okay, that's how it works. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will cast it.
The crystal globe is very magical.
Okay.
As well as the thong of bones.
Okay.
The feathers are not.
The feathers are just feathers. Nothing special about them.
I can ritual cast identify if that's how we want to spend time.
Yeah.
Few minutes.
Yep. That's 11 minutes of her life.
So,
for each of those.
while on the boat,
Boat.
you can
That
do that.
would be ideal. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
How are we going to get the boat
Can I-
across?
I will
This
take-
is frozen.
Do we
lake.
really want to take this crystal thing
Oh,
with us? What if it's some sort of spyglass that?
When you arrived,
Put it in
like
the
15
bag.
feet out from the edge was frozen when you arrived.
Okay.
I'll
A large body of water like that
Yeah.
wouldn't freeze in the amount of time you've been here.
Okay.
Unless
Yeah.
it's magical.
Thank you.
Unless it was magical.
I like to take the globe and just kind of hold on to it while we travel.
It might be a spyglass, so I wouldn't hold it too close.
Do you hold it exposed? Do you can put it in a pocket?
Does it hurt to touch it?
No.
Okay. I will hold it exposed, just watching it kind of occasionally while we travel.
Interesting.
I'll grab the rosary.
Perfect. So you grab the bone rosary.
What if she's got a friend in the back of her lair looking at us through that and then we're coming?
Make a silly face.
I grab a drink.
I share.
Alright, Tintin. Why did they bring you along if you're going to pee your pants when you see a dead body?
No one told me what was coming. I'm a thief. I thought I was stealing things.
You didn't know who he was?
Oh? You've never seen a dead body before?
I'm not.
What we've been seeing hasn't exactly been typical dead bodies.
Not like 30 at a time.
Are we staying in the inn right now?
We're traveling.
No,
You're traveling.
we're
Yeah, we're
traveling
headed
to
over.
Traveling
the
towards the
water.
harbor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's fine. Continue your conversation.
Would these be would these be items that would be owned by anyone in here?
You're why the back of that breaks.
I'm not leaning.
It's you.
That's what you're
In-game
You know
list.
full
Return
well
to game
on the
place.
backs of these.
Resume.
Alright,
Unpause.
This in the public.
So Carson was saying,
Could any of these objects be owned by someone here?
Yeah. Would it be an item that someone else might recognize, maybe the mayor, or should we just bypass that? And just
these seem
Forced
ritual,
hoe.
these seem ritual items for a hag.
Six
Okay.
dying.
yeah. Let's go into the middle of the forest to
What time is it?
look for things.
It is about 8 o'clock.
Maybe Matt, you would?
8:45. No, 7:45. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So I'm not trying to steal life from you. I promise.
Could we count the time just walking is
10 minutes.
okay, it's only 10 minutes, so never mind.
Right.
The town is not huge,
No, I was just thinking about casting time for us.
and I imagine you guys are hustling.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, honestly, we should find the Gridbeards though.
So Heather.
Or before we go.
Before we go.
You can send your little flap.
Yeah, I'll write a small message and tie it to his leg and send it towards where I remember.
I love it.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
It's like
You imagine they are either in the inn, or they're back at the tents that were set up. Because as you remember, they were Doctor Who tents.
Did
So
I see them at the
you did not.
Okay. I can deduce they're probably at the tents.
So I will send with the message
Okay.
saying
What does
for
the message
Grim.
say? It has to be pretty short.
So
Meet us at the waterline.
meet us at the
Harbor.
harbor.
ASAP.
ASAP.
Okay.
Going after hag.
That's
They
probably
know it's
about how long you could put, and have the bird still be able to carry it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just wrap the bird in paper.
It's just written on the outside. Perfect. So you send the bird off, and it heads in a slightly different direction from you as you guys are taking a direct route to the harbor. You make it in about 10 minutes. You only have to wait about 5 minutes, and the Grimbeard brothers show up in various states of inebriation. However, due to their heritage, they shoot better when they're drunk. So,
They have resistance to poison.
or at least they say.
sick. Just kind
Hold on now. What's the rush? We're just
dying.
getting ready to enjoy our evening together.
She's been cursed. The icy one that kills you in 7 hours.
What's you gonna do that for?
I mean, she was looking for an exciting evening.
Well, if you're looking for an exciting evening. Oh, you're really cursed.
Yes.
Anyway,
We gotta get
yes.
across the lake right now. We're gonna try to find a hag's lair within 5 hours.
She's chattering like, yeah, that's
And
like
hopefully break this
freaking
curse,
curse.
all within 5 hours. I'm so
Wow.
excited for the rest of this night.
This is gonna be real
Wait.
fun.
What?
In the dark.
What exactly happens in 5 hours?
She'll die.
She dies.
Yes.
Her heart,
You die.
her heart
freezes.
freezes.
Yes.
Is that the whole sickness thing that's been?
Yes.
yeah,
And you've seen it,
Yeah.
and now she's got it.
yeah.
At least
Two
we-
questions.
At least we assume.
2 questions. One, is it catching?
No.
That's good.
It's a curse.
Good.
It only happens if you
Two.
go through the cloud cover.
Am I gonna get to shoot something?
Yes.
Yes.
Most likely.
Great.
If
Lots of
it
things.
trees.
So what you need to
Trees?
sober up doesn't
Proto forest, I don't
involve
know
me
what's there.
slacking it because I'm in that mood this evening.
What?
Excuse me?
Sorry.
I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
She's fixing to slap something.
No, I said, and what do you need to feel sober? Because if it involves slapping, I'm in that mood this evening.
Well-
nothing to do.
I appreciate y'all thought
It was
but,
meant to be playful. It did not
Yep.
come out that way.
Harlan now looks very, very dour. Like, okay, this is a real situation at this point. He appreciates the attempted jest, but he kind of nudges Edmund, and Edmund goes off to rouse the captain of one of the ships.
Well, I guess we'll be taking one of the barges then. We need to get directly across,
Yes.
I'm assuming.
As straight as we can.
Right, well, let's get to it. You lot will have to do for oarsmen, if that's okay.
I thought the steamboat had some kind.
It does. It takes some time, however. If we get the oars out, we can start moving right away.
It's just
I can
nice.
row.
Really tiny.
Are
You
you
could probably roll.
are you always trying to get out of work?
I'm 3 feet tall.
You're just like being lifted by the oar.
I'll give it a shot.
I can probably
No,
oar
don't
the
put-
entire boat.
Don't use your stature
We'll put
for
you at the helm.
excuses.
We'll put
Halflings
you
are
at the
just as
helm,
strong as
and you
any
can let us
other
know if we're
human.
gonna hit anything. How about that?
Thank you. That sounds great.
Anyway, let's all get aboard.
Gee, as we're in this boat, I wonder what Sig and Toby were up to while on the roofs. Gee, it might be a good time to tell us so we can talk about it.
Alright,
They could just spill.
Wow.
okay.
Because you said you were going to tell us as we were walking back to the tavern and we didn't.
Calm down, Mr. Meta. Just a second. So we all sit down. We go, okay. So, let's side note. While we were on the roofs, we kind of met some interesting folk. Yeah. So, there were 4 of them? That
Five.
we saw. 5?
5. Yeah, we saw the one. There's 4 more.
Oh, fun. I miscounted. So there. Have you ever heard of shadowlings or darklings?
You've never heard of Darkness.
They
Darklings
sound
are
like
like little
ducklings
grey
at the door.
skinned
You
kind of
have heard of
smoky
darklings.
people, and they're very good at being not detected. But we found them. They were hiding with the cloud layer and they were observing.
I found them.
Apparently, they've been hunting down our
I'll take credit for
targets.
something.
So, given that they've been here a while, when we land, we could possibly summon their assistance, and they might be able to lead us to the cave.
How do you know they're against
You're
the
also not
hags?
telling us that. We could have summoned them earlier.
Pretty fabulous judge of character. I just found out.
And
We-
how are we summoning them?
They're following us.
So if I turn around, they're just going to be right there.
And how do we know that they're against the hag? They could be working with her for all we know. They could be working with the hag for all we know.
I don't think so.
Why not?
What do you think, Toby?
He said that it took some of their kids, and they're trying to watch out.
The hags before their kids.
Well,
Not
I
kids,
didn't
but the kids.
exactly
They're
have time to
brothers.
verify their story. Sorry.
Yeah, but they took one of their brothers and turned them. They're assassins, but nice assassins, they say. And the hag.
I've never met a nice assassin.
Yeah, you're taking words of creepy dudes on rooftops very literally.
But if they can be of use, let's use them.
I don't know if we can use them. I think they're just there.
Everything's a tool. Including you.
Alright, good, but thanks for it.
All right.
So, how do you plan on saying hi? How are we gonna get them here?
We're in the boat rolling right now, right?
Yes, the boat is currently being shoved off from dock so that the steam engine can be turned on.
Yo, darklings. Show yourself.
I don't
Wow.
think they can hear you, Louie.
I'm just thinking, oh brother, where art thou? Every time you
Next
two
persuasion
talk.
check.
I'm good at those.
Not the laughs talk.
Yes.
Delmar is my like
Not
Dark.
today.
But I only am, so 3, 7. That'll be 10. I'm gonna use a persona to.
Oh, you guys do notice that as soon as you entered the harbor, the clouds were no longer there. So that was the edge of the clouds. And it is a beautiful, starry winter night right now.
Okay, is there like a plank?
I'm sorry, what was your persuasion?
10.
Is there a plank?
Like, is there like
A
like an upper deck?
Yes.
Darklings didn't show up.
Yeah, they just do their own thing.
So then,
let me ask a little more nicely. Just give me a minute. And I go upstairs and I go, hey, Darkwing.
you said the same exact sentence.
Hey, Dodge. But I say, are you here? And I have a time here.
God, it's me, sick.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh. 23.
Toby, what are you doing right now?
I assume that they are just doing their own thing, so I'm gonna stay below deck.
You're just gonna stay on the
Just come out of
main
the
deck?
shadows.
Yeah.
And I pull out a map of the area.
Perfect. Okay. You pull out a map of the area and you begin kind of just like pretending not to look around.
Mhm.
Like maybe they'll show up, maybe they won't. What is this like? Toby.
Yep.
All of a sudden you hear a voice next to you. And
Punch up.
it startles you a bit and you look over and sitting on a barrel, just sort of like one hand, like thinking man pose. One hand is like extending into its hood, which is wreathed in clouds.
You guys are a lot easier to follow than I thought you'd be.
Yeah, what kind of loud are we?
Now, so I ordered. Did you need something?
Toby,
Hey.
right?
How did you know? So,
I've been listening.
guys!
I yell for everyone.
We know most of your names at this point.
I go running over and I go, oh, you hired. And I just like roll up the map and I go, where's the place?
For the first time, the four of you, plus now the running Grimbeard brothers, Harlan is like loading his gun as he's like running over, and Edmund is just like battle axe out, and you see
I have my
kind of wreathing around his head is the beginning of an electrical storm. And he's coming over, and they're both just like, what's happening? What's going on? And all of you for the first time see just sitting on top of this barrel is this rather diminutive figure. You imagine standing up, it's no more than 4.5 feet tall. It is completely hooded except for its feet, which because it's sitting down, its cloak seems to be hiked up a little bit, exposing deep green slippered feet below.
Like actual slippers?
Correct.
Like sleepy time slippers?
No.
Like probably spider kind.
Like tight fitting cloth slippers.
Oh, like flats. I was imagining him in
Well,
just like,
yeah, that's good for coloring. Let's do that. So he looks about like that, except he's not currently brandishing a weapon.
Okay.
And he's currently just sitting there, and what you notice about him is his cloak adopts the image of whatever is opposite him from you. So you currently see that his lower body looks much like the railing of the ship, and his upper body looks like the horizon of the lake. And it's a little disturbing to try and focus on, but what you are able to focus on is his face is concealed in a small, concentrated area of softly roiling smoke. And his hand kind of disappears into this smoke, and you imagine he's sort of resting his chin on it.
Hello. You all are here. And you found out that what I said was true. So,
What did you say?
I'm Svolnus.
no, that she's not dead.
I didn't hear that. They neglected to tell me that.
The body.
Where's the lair?
I don't know.
Oh.
I was planning on following her to her lair.
Oh, that's what a novel idea.
Right. But before you
Great.
decided to kill her, or tried to kill her, or failed to kill her, whichever way you decide to look
Why
at it.
didn't she die?
Why didn't she?
Her body melted. Essence transfer.
What's her bones made of ice?
Hey!
I got $50 on the essence transfer. Was I right?
Someone bet you money.
Yeah.
On that
It
theory.
was Gedrick.
I have
It was
none.
Toby.
Just to see if you'll say yes or no.
From what I've seen, you have zero magical talent.
Agreed.
How in the hell did you get that right?
I'm good at intuition. It was my old joke.
I copied voices again.
Yeah.
He's just a mimic. He just
Ha, so I was right. All y'all,
my voice. There we go.
all y'all who doubted me
Wait, what?
are wrong.
I'm readopting my voice for this guy. Okay. Yes, every single time.
Cause see, I figured that she's kind of like a Mother Gothel situation. She didn't like getting old, and so she came back to young kids more to have some sort of immortality.
You listen to anything but nursery rhymes.
No,
Actually, I like
he's
that
got
story.
that one right. That's pretty much all hags.
My mama was always right. Told you, mama always right.
Except the whole
That's
essence
my
transfer
mama,
thing
too.
is new.
That's new.
That's very new. I've never seen it
In the
before.
story, she absorbed the
Right.
life force, didn't she?
Correct.
Besides
Louis was right. So when we get back to
Except
headquarters
this is
on the
opposite.
little tracker
Her
chart, we
essence
put
is
stars
leaving
where everyone
and being
time
touched with
was
her
right.
body.
Alright.
I imagine she's capable of the other as well, absorbing essence and putting it into
So
her own.
we're going to have to fight a child.
Ain't child no more once the
No.
essence is transferred over.
Once she's placed her soul in another body, it grows until it adopts her form.
No.
It's best if
Oh,
you
child.
choose not to remember that it was once an innocent
Oh.
child.
Have you ever seen her use this form?
Yeah,
What does it do? Scry?
you're not supposed to touch that.
I told you! Told you, see?
I jumped into it.
We both knew.
What does it
Don't touch it. Nobody listening.
That orb is particularly evil.
What?
What'd you say?
What?
Obviously, we didn't hear it on this side.
See, y'all make fun of her essence transfer, but he's like booty orb side.
It turns into rap.
She's her own Kim Kardashian.
This is why so many men are going missing. She keeps
that
swiping
another-
right.
Another colloquialism. Okay.
Okay.
She uses the orb in order to entrance others.
With the booty.
It literally didn't matter what I said. He was just going to say with
No,
the booty.
no, it's because he goes with it so well.
She uses her booty to entrance.
Welcome to D&D, everyone. We've done it. Did you lose a camera?
Yeah, I died. Oh no, it didn't work.
Oh,
I think so.
died.
Those ones are good.
I don't think the battery is.
Now I'm just a disembodied voice.
I'll just go in like 10 minutes anyway.
It's the orb.
That's fine. This is where we're wrapping up.
It's the orb of milkshakes. It brings
So-
all the boys to
Or
you.
entrance, or
She uses it to entrance others.
Okay.
In order to lead them back to her leg.
And I hold out the beads, and I'm like, and these.
He pulls his hand from his cloak and he makes an odd gesture with his hands, and he actually like leaps to the top of the barrel, and he like makes a hissing sound.
You, well, that changes things.
Oh.
What are they?
What kind of change? Bad change.
How well do you like your friends?
Kinda a lot.
Well, good luck then.
You should tell us now what they do.
You see all the bones?
Yeah.
You see all your friends?
Yeah.
Those are our bones.
They're likely all going to be missing a bone or two in about an hour.
What?
Oh.
And it's going to be added to that. And,
Cool.
yeah, I'm gonna, go over here.
Do we get
And
rid
he
of
just
it?
like walks along the railing very nimbly, about 30 feet away from you.
How about we just get rid of it? Then my bones stay in my body.
If he can.
If he can.
Right, if he can.
If we can get rid of it.
Steals bones?
No, you don't understand. He might not be able to get rid of it.
See, this is why we just don't go around picking up stuff out of hag robes
I don't
and holding
understand.
on
What does
to
it do?
Hey, Claudius, right?
Yeah.
Try throwing it.
I huck it into the lake.
Make an athletics check.
It's like the Broom Part 2 Electric Boogaloo.
I believe that is a 16 total.
Perfect. You huck it, and
Yeah.
it goes about 60 or so feet, and you hear a ka-plunk as it hits the water. You manage to throw it.
Check your pockets.
I'm gonna check my.
You all look
pockets.
over, and it's dangling from his hand.
Well, it's funny.
Okay.
So we just cut off both his hands.
I still don't understand what that.
It's called the bone necklace.
No. See,
See,
one for one.
It's called the bow.
One
the
for two.
bone, the boner necklace.
No.
Alright,
I don't know if she has a specific name for it.
can I please
Yeah. Sig
try to just dispel magic on it?
on the.
The necklace?
You can try, I guess.
Alright, hold on.
The booty.
I
You
actually.
got the booty and the thong.
I cast.
What if we put them together?
Which is.
It dispels them both.
What were you saying the necklace does?
It steals bones from surrounding people
Calculator.
and adds them to the thong.
How many times? Just one bone?
Is there a radius to this bone stealing?
Probably people within your immediate proximity.
Alright, Claudius, you gotta go down
Spell
and
cast modifier. That's 22.
22
Yes.
to dispel
Spell
magic.
magic on the necklace.
Okay, you cast dispel magic on the necklace.
I'd like to then
And
cast
I-
detect magic.
Throw it again.
Okay, make an athletics check.
I could have just detected if it was still magical.
17 this time.
Yeah, goes 85 feet this time, and it goes kerplunk,
Alright.
We look at his hands.
and it's hanging from his hand.
No.
So it just
Son of a bee.
it steals bones from the people in the vicinity.
Yep.
Well, I guess I'm walking.
Well,
you guys have fun.
Here's the thing.
You're on a boat.
You're on a boat.
You're in the middle of a 3-mile wide lake.
I can give you a folding boat
I've,
and you can throw yourself there.
Yeah, that's what I'll be doing.
I've lost friends to that, but not because they were near someone holding it, because they were trapped into holding it. You see, once that thing fills up, you're next.
Oh.
And it doesn't just steal one or two.
It just takes the whole skeleton. But do we have a bag of holding? Maybe putting it inside of some sort of special extra planar space will stop it from zooming back.
I've never seen it tried.
Bag of holding. Try it out.
I don't have one.
I don't have one. We've been working for the company for 7 months and none of us have got a bag of
I
holding.
have a bag of
2
holding.
years.
2 years.
Okay.
I have a bag.
I gave you access to the
Do not
armory.
Let me touch it. I'm cursed enough already.
I'm
Just hold it up.
gonna drop it in there,
I mean,
and I will carry the bag.
What is it?
No.
Is it a bag holding?
Yeah.
Okay. It's back in his hand.
darn.
Well, hey.
Well, I'm not your friend, right?
What's the timeline?
I guess not anymore.
Like
Yeah.
Bye, friend.
From what I've seen, every couple of days, every day, it will steal bones from nearby creatures.
Okay.
And then after about 7 days, it'll steal his.
So now you're cursed, and you're cursed, and
Why
we're
do I
all
have
somewhat
any
semi-cursed.
paladins
You're holding
that
something
can
by
dissolve me?
First, too.
Well, I'm not cursed. This thing doesn't curse, right? That I have the orb. It just
Not that I've seen. No.
Okay.
It's just an evil orb.
Correct.
All right. And as long as I keep it from filling up, it won't end up killing me. I guess it'll just start stealing it from woodland creatures then.
From what I've seen, any creature nearby.
Alright, so Claudius stays inside the poop deck for the rest of the lake ride. We stay on the other
Oh.
side of the boat.
At least around morning, don't be near him.
Oh, it's morning time?
Yes.
Okay.
From what I've seen.
So sun rises, you go sleep far, far away.
Fair enough. What a day. All right, let's go keep Sig from dying.
What a vacation.
One thing at a time.
Let's put
This
the
is
orb
vacation,
inside the bag.
I see what.
I got the orb in my bag. I'm keeping it with me.
Yeah, twice as much curse.
Okay, about 9
Most of
minutes
it
into the
vocal.
trip, you find yourselves nearing the far shore. The steam engine was engaged, and you made the 3-mile trip very, very quickly, especially because the lake is mostly still. At this end of the lake, near the mouth of the lake, it's a little bit rougher.
I'm counting minutes.
Yep, you currently have 5 hours and 11 minutes left. At this point, you have reached the far end of the shore, and the clouds which had overtaken the town of Missine are also apparent here over the forest.
Great.
You seem to have found the domain of whatever creature this is that has been plaguing this frontier town. And now it is up to you to venture forth and find the creature, slay it, and pray that that ends the curse upon your friend's line. And then, of course, deal with another curse.
Hey.
Until next week, guys.
One shot part 3.
One shot, part 3. You know what? Here's the thing. A lot of tonight's stuff I added when I was like, oh, well, it's going to be 2 sessions. And then I was like, what if it just becomes more?
Like, it's exactly
But
what we
at the
did
same-
because we decided to fight hags and let it go.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, tonight, yeah, a lot happened because you decided to fight the hag. And that was amazing. There was a lot of stuff tonight that was a potential, and it ended up happening.
Alright. What are we gonna play?
I was going to ask, when would you like to play Ravnica next week? Are you all prepped and ready to go?
Assuming this is only going to be one more session, we can just finish it off next week.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we'll do
We'll
that.
need a hacking recap.
I still remember every detail.
Every single day.
I'm.
That guy looks awesome.
I'm just glad.
He took less time than the other ones.
Whoa.
I think because they don't have as big of a belly. An ogre.
I'm just glad I was right about the essence transfer.
I could not believe that. I was like, dude!
I know, we feel like you're actually like, what? That's great.
Louis ain't dumb. He's got like a 14
Sig owes you all the drinks, all the stuff.
Ice phone.
So I almost wonder what. I almost wonder, could you pass the necklace on to somebody else? You just give it right back to that. I think this is yours, and then now it's hers. Her problem.
Yeah, I was gonna say if Sig might die, we should just give it to her, and then if she does die,
my god.
I do not
we've
want to be
got,
double cursed. You good?
What? Oh
I
yeah.
don't want to be double cursed.
where's Sokka?
He's at
He's at
babysit.
my in-laws.
Oh, I was gonna say I haven't heard him going. "Meow."
Yeah.
That's why.
That would be why, because he's not here.
Guys, thanks so much. That was an awesome session. I loved how much I got to see from each of your characters tonight.
Oh, good.
That was so cool.
Just some good memes. I posted some good memes.
You guys are a meme machine. You're just gonna show them off like proud children.
Oh my gosh, they were
Louis
great.
trying to show this hag who's boss. Gedrin also. I saw this. Josh mad that his plans have been derailed. Frozen Sig, Louis, Claudius, Witch.
I love the Gedrin tiny Gedrin.
Keanu one.
Same mustache. Same mustache, same accent.
It's not the same accent. It's close.
I'm guilty of accent appropriation.
It's so much.
Even though you said it, you reset. You